Okay, okay. All right. Okay, so you're welcome to this event. I'm just going to take us quickly through the introduction to the event. We have quite a number of speakers that we want to glean from their vast knowledge and experience. So we won't want to waste much time doing introductions and all that, but it's quite important that we have a good idea of what we're in for in this 2 days, today and of course tomorrow. So I'll just share my slides now, and then I'll take us quickly through the introduction. Just take us through what we're going to be looking at in the course of today, and then would also look at the profile briefly of the speakers, and then would go on to our very first speaker for today. And then I'll also just talk briefly about Oak Interlink, and then we'll move on from there. All right, so this is Pivot, and the reason why we have decided to put together this conference cum seminar is because we've had over time, of course, Oak Interlink is a training and consulting company, and we've been in training and helping people, move their career from one level to the other in the last 14, 15 years almost now. And one of the things that we have gotten quite repeatedly in recent times is people asking to how do they transition from maybe someone being an accountant and the person is thinking, how do I take advantage of this digital revolution? Or someone who is maybe a school teacher and probably the person is already 10 years into that career, but maybe the person studied computer science or something in the university, or even something outside of that, whatever it was that the person studied. But the person is just thinking, I'm hearing there are opportunities in in coding, opportunities in software engineering, opportunities in project management, and in the digital sector, in the software sector, the opportunities in blockchain and all of these high sounding things. And so we thought it would be a good idea for us to bring people that are actually in the industry. First, people that are in human resource, okay, and then people that are actually practicing in those areas. So people also talk about, oh, I'm looking at data analysis, I'm looking at business analysis, all of those tech or near tech or tech support, careers and all that. So we thought, let's bring people together and let them actually show us the pathway to being able to get into these careers and begin to grow in them. So today we have a number of people that have been able to transition, and then human resource experts, okay, that would help us to know, what human resource people are looking out for in, people that may be transitioning into this kind of new careers, and how to actually get into organizations to begin to work in these new careers that, you probably are hoping to transition to. And then tomorrow, we're going to have tech experts really break it down with real life, pointers and exact ways by which we can actually, transition into these new careers. So that's essentially why we're here, and we have, let me just read through this quickly. Pivot means to turn or twist. So in fact, I was listening to a particular presentation yesterday, and someone was saying that maybe in the 60s and maybe 70s, people were expected, or even in the 80s, people were expected to have one career, and you have that career for the whole of your life. But in the last 20, 30 years, what has happened is that people are expected to have maybe up to 10, careers within their working life, meaning it's very normal for people to change and transit and twist and pivot. Okay, so it's a good thing. It's something that is expected, and it's something that people are doing, and you also should be able to do. That is pivot from whatever career you are in right now to a new, probably more profitable, probably more sustainable, and more rewarding, career. Okay, so a business set to pivot when it changes some aspect of its core products or services. Businesses might pivot to better meet customer demand, to shift their target audience, to boost sales, or some combination of both. And that's also how it is also with you as an individual. So consider yourself as a brand, consider yourself as a business, and so you also need to pivot. It says, just as businesses pivot to better take advantage of opportunities and maintain relevance, individuals also pivot for similar reasons. So pivoting almost, in terms of career, is like the thing that is like a pandemic now in Nigeria, if you like. That's the Japan thing. So pivoting is synonymous to that, isn't it? Okay. So pivoting has become necessary for many mid-career professionals now, and they realize the urgent need to take steps to remain relevant in the digital age. The challenge, however, is that many do not know how to go about it. And so that's the challenge this conference is trying to help resolve. The pivot, this conference is aimed at empowering professionals, especially mid-career professionals, helping them to navigate a transition from their current area of expertise to in-demand and future relevant careers with particular focus on digital-driven careers. So this conference will provide attendees with practical pathways to identify opportunities, understand the skillsets required to access these opportunities, and gaining access to relevant information and experience to harness the opportunities towards a future relevant career. Simply put, we're trying to show in practical ways how to pivot, where you should be looking at, how to get into those areas that would, maybe that you are well suited for, the steps you need to take, the things you need to, how you need to plan, how you need to prepare, and how you need to get probably some internship and all of that towards ensuring that you're able to successfully pivot. So that's the aim of this conference, and our sincere hope and expectation is that you are going to be able to learn all that you need to learn, okay, so as to be able to successfully pivot, as we hope you'll be able to do. So we have about 11 speakers for this 2-day conference. We may be adding more depending, but when they are about to come up, I'll do the full introduction. But for now, we have Omokunbe Adeoti, who is the Chief People Empowerment Officer at Leadway Group. We have Babajide George, who is a Human Capital Management Consultant based out of Canada. We have Charles Salade, who is a Global Agile Transformation Leader based out of the US. We have Toye Sholadoye, who is Chief Technology Officer of Union Bank here in Nigeria. We have Toye Oyewumi, who is co-founder of Garden Ventures here in Nigeria. We have Peter Motoshaw, who is an Enterprise Agile Coach, is Director at Pete Lauren Consulting out of Australia. We have Tokes Fagbamigbe, who is the founder and CEO of Dufuna, works here in Nigeria and also in Europe. And then we have Dr. Mohamed El Temna, who is CEO of Apex in Dubai and Egypt. We also have Michael Olafusi, who is the lead consultant for your BZ. And we also have Juliet Yang, who is the head of HR at, I'll get the name now later on when I look at the slides. And then we have Ibrahim Adepoju as well, who is also a tech expert. So those are the people that are going to be speaking today and tomorrow. And so we have the lineup. First off will be Babajide George, who is a senior HR consultant based out of Canada, and I'm going to introduce him in a bit. All right, so we're all welcome to this seminar, and in a few minutes, our first speaker would be coming up, and once our first speaker comes up, would speak for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then depending on the vibe, so to say, that we get from the room in terms of questions, we may take questions for him immediately, or we may move the questions to the end of the program. Okay, so you can put up your questions as the speaker presents. You can put up your questions either in the chat room. Okay, yeah, chat room will be okay. We'll pick it up from there, and then we would at the end of the presentation ask questions from the speaker. I think for the first speaker, we will ask questions immediately after, because it's a bit of some time between his presentation and the end of the program, where we'll be able to have a panel session where we can ask questions thrown at different speakers at the same time. So what we're going to have is we're going to have the first speaker, and I would just introduce him right away. Okay, so wait for your introduction, sir. I still have your profile. Just a minute, let me just read out your profile. Thank you. Okay, all right. So I was just about to share his impressive profile so that we get to meet him, and then he can then come up. So here we are. So I have our first speaker, Mr. Babajide George. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so Mr. Babajide George is a highly qualified, passionate, and results-driven human resource management and information systems professional, offering years of solid human resource business analysis. Babajide has expertise with all aspects of human resource, HR, as well as in leading process improvement initiatives spanning across the IT and oil and gas sectors. Jide's previous experiences include human resource roles at System Spec, HR and labor relations specialist at West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited, human capital management consultant, and implementation specialist at ADP, and currently his role is senior HCM analyst and reporting at Ocean Capital Canada. So he will be sharing with us on the human resource perspective on pivoting and how to actually take these steps towards pivoting successfully. So please let's welcome Mr. Babajide George to the Pivot 1.0. All right, sir, you can come up now.
Thank you, Sheye. Can you hear me well?
Yes. Yes, very well.
Thank you. It's an opportunity for me to be here this morning and to share with you a few of this. I know you have a whole lot of lineup of speakers, a lot more experience, um, and I'm glad I'm the one starting, so it won't be that I'm being evaluated based on every other person that's spoken. Okay. I'm going to be very brief with the presentation, and we'll do a lot more of just sharing a few of my experiences, both locally and internationally, on what I see about the global scale and what is expected of us. Once again, my name is Jide George. I currently live in Halifax, Canada, and uh, work with Ocean Capital. Um, so quickly, I'll just start with my presentation. I would like to share now. Okay. Okay, can we see the presentation?
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Great.
can.
All right. So global skill in demand for sustainable career development. You know, looking at this particular question, I mean, this particular topic of this presentation, I thought, what exactly is it that I should be doing at this time? What is the global skill in demand? What exactly is it? And I'd come to a point. I've been out of Nigeria now for over 3 years, and I came to a point in my career to know that wherever you are becomes what it's in demand, actually. Whatever it is that you can churn out of yourself, whatever it is that it's you, becomes what is in demand. The way you present what you have becomes what people are willing to buy. How you sell what you have determines how much people are willing to pay for what you are selling. Okay, I'll just do just quick on this slide, but while we may not be able to touch on everything because of the time, but I will just touch on what is very necessary. I'm sure the slide can be available. Um, you probably will want to share the slide later if you please. I wouldn't mind that. This is the content of the presentation: getting a decent job. What is a decent job? What is career development? What is global skill? What do we term as the global skills? What will be the sustainable career, and how do I build one? And finally, global skill needed for sustainable career. So we build it up like that, that what is a job itself? What is decent in a job? What do I need to do in career development? The kind of global skill I need, and then what is sustainable career, and how do I build one? And global skill needed for that sustainable career. Decent job. You know, I follow politics in Nigeria, and in the course of politicking, I've heard different people talk about um, a particular party. Now, I'm not partisan. And I'm not trying to sell any candidate right now. But I remember an experience said something about a particular party, the Labour Party, something that the Labour. He said something that what people are saying about Labour. Please don't fight on this platform. We're just here to learn. It has nothing to do with Nigeria or anywhere in the world. I'm just trying to pick out something, and that is that what we talked about, that you are not supposed to be liberal, but you know, everywhere we are, anywhere in the US and Canada, in Nigeria, in the world, anywhere in the world, in Asia, in the Arab world, labor should be dignified. Whatever it is that you should be decent, decent meaning that you respected in what you are doing, you understand exactly what you're doing, you are paid for what you are doing, not just paid under the table, you are paid well for what you are doing, for what has been agreed on. So it's important that we labor, we really at what we do, and laboring means different things for different. So we need to understand that it's not ingredient, it's not easy. What you're doing is that pride. Yes, I work. I mean, when I go to the office and from morning, from like clock, and I can't tell at the end of the clock what I can't put down that I don't feel good because it looks to me I have not earned the money for that day. We need to understand that part of working is not just earning money. Part of working is also getting yourself feeling good. I saw is what I define. How decent a job should be. And so it's important for us to understand that what it is as decent in job. You can go through the bullet point on getting decent job, learn about what your interest is, what is your passion, what exactly is it do you want to do. If you're already working, can you keep upgrading your resume, and can you keep working on your skill, building it, and we'll still talk a little more about getting to know what others are doing and how can I leverage on what others have done and begin to do the same. What makes make new connections, research new different companies you can also provide your service for. Ask questions about how interviews are done. I mean, look at people that have done it before and what have they done? How is it that they got themselves aged? I mean, in what they are doing is possible. If it's possible for them, it's possible for me also. Career development. It's important for us to understand this, that once you do not plan what your target is, everything you hit becomes your target. If you do not understand exactly what you want to do, then the organization begins to move you around, and they begin to move you into, okay, we think you fit into this, we think you fit into that. It's important that in this age, the age we're in, that you own yourself, you own your own career, you decide that this is what I want to do, and you begin to tailor it. And career development is not something that is just done while you are still young. It's not done while you are still at the middle of your career or at the end of your career. It's actually something that is lifetime. You will always reflect on who you are. What is your strength and interest? You will always have to explore the different career. Shaya was talking about the fact that in this time around, that a career is so fluid, you can move into anything you want to do. Well, that's a good thing also in the developed world. In the developed world where I am, you can decide that today, okay, I've been in human resource for 25 years, but now I want to move into something else, and it's very fluid. Just begin to monitor what it is that you need to do in that field and begin to gradually move into them. And you see, one of the other things I understand, I've come to learn, is that whatever it is that I have done in that 25 years in human resource does not cancel. It does not go down the drain because I'm starting something new. Now, I decided when I got in here, you know, where to start with what already and begin to every other thing. I started as I came in, like I said, and got to HR itself, own kind of HR. It's not the conventional HR. What I do, HRIS, human resource information, lot more in business analysis, in my what I do for organizations. I mean, getting here, I discovered that it's also very important here. So all I need to do is just begin to look at how is it that they do it here? What are the systems they use in this place? What are the things that I need to get myself into? So before you know it, rather than start something all from the beginning again, I just started from where I am and I just started moving on. And then, I mean, this is my second job in Canada, and it was because I decided to move on myself. I decided it's time for me to do this and move on. So I own my own career development. I move on with that. What is it? What do we term global skill? What do we term global skill? I mean, when you hear what's a global career, what are the things that people are looking for? What kind of job should I do? I mean, that's the question we hear, especially people that are just moving out of Nigeria or going somewhere else, and they're asking, okay, when I get there, what is reigning now? No, it is not so much of what is reigning now, but certain skills that you are able to carry along with yourself. One, it's the cultural awareness, language and communication skills, international commercial awareness, and networking. Now, these are very important because for whatever it is that you're currently doing, if you can build these skills into your current career, you will be able to use that same career you have. You'll be able to use it wherever you go. So when I was working with the last company I worked with in Nigeria before I moved to Canada, that was West African Gas Pipeline. I used to be in charge of the human resource operations and for two countries. That's Nigeria and Republic of Benin. Now, Nigeria is Anglophone, and Republic of Benin is Francophone. Now, there is this cultural differences between us. So anytime I have a meeting with both Nigerians and the Beninois, and there's always this complaint that the Beninois are too aggressive in the way they talk. Now, when I got here, the Caucasians here feels Nigerians are too aggressive in the way they do things. We Nigerian feels they are too slow in the way but that is culture. That is culture, called the cultural awareness. You are able to understand the way people do things. You are able to also adapt yourself in working with people. Language and communication, it's important. And coming to Canada, the first few months, in fact, first month, you get trying to look for a job. The first thing you get into interview, and the first thing they ask you then is if you have a Canadian experience. Now, Canadian experience, we used to think it's that have you worked in Canada before? But what they're actually looking for, it's not that. It's that are you able to communicate? Are you able to relate with people? Are you able to communicate in a work environment? That's what they're actually just looking for. So it's not whether you have earned some money in Canada or whether you, no. In fact, most of the time, what people do, what I did, for example, was to go into immediately, rather than going to a paid employment, got into volunteering. I did volunteering for about 4-5 weeks. And after that, I got my first job. I mean, with the 3-4-5 weeks that I did that, my employer understood that, okay, if I could stay in this job for this long, 3-4 weeks, then it means I could communicate. It was surprising for me that after I had done all that I have done, all the certification I have done, some people still feel that I don't know how to communicate. But I needed to prove that to them. So after my volunteering in an organization for 4-5 weeks, I was able to get a job because now they understand that I can communicate, I can work in a corporate environment. And so all these are so important. Understand that whatever you are selling, it just depends on the way you present it. People can buy it in any part of the world. any part of the world, they need the same thing that you have, that you currently the career that you currently are in. I mean, you will think that HR yeah, HR is everywhere, but getting here, you need to also decide what part of HR do you want to do. At the level of my own career, I am now a specialist. I can decide that I am picking this part of what I want to do. I'm picking the particular system I want to work with. I mean, until now, I've not done real work on Oracle HR, but that's what I'm working on now. But not because they did not get me into that job because I have experience in Oracle HR. They got me in there because they know that I have experience in business analysis and in systems analysis, in system optimizations, and all that. And then coming into Oracle, they felt like if I've been able to use other systems before, then it will be easy peasy for me getting to just pick on Oracle. And well, I got in there, and of course it was, I mean, any HR software looks like the same, but then even they had to give me, I mean, get me a license, an Oracle license, and purchase a almost a $10,000 certification for me to just get into to know what Oracle is. But of course, I have the basis. I have something that they looked onto before they can get me in. So it's important for us to understand that your skills in cultural awareness, in language communications, in international commercial awareness, and networking, getting to know people, getting to work with other people is so very important. Sustainable career, how it's just understanding these four things about your career. What do you do? What skills do you have right now? Where do you do it? What are your interests? What are your interests? What is the passion you have? What pushes you? I mean, what values would you want to add to the organization that you work with? And what value do you have yourself? So who do you do it for? Which organization, and why do you do it? Now, for every career, whatever it is that is the career you have, you must be able to answer all this question of what do you do? What is it exactly that you do? And you see, the way you present what you do is so very important. You need to be able to sit down to be able to tell people that this is who I am and this is what I do. And you do it with passion. When you present yourself with passion, people eventually will understand. The two interviews I had gone through getting into these two jobs, I mean, the feedback I get from the recruiter is always that, especially the executives, what the feedback I get from them at the end of the interview. In fact, some would stop me in the middle of interview to ask me, sorry, how come you are this passionate about this? And I'm like, well, that is what I do. That is who I am. And for the two jobs that I had gotten into, that is why people just get me in. They feel like, wow, this guy is not just telling us textbook theories. This guy knows what he's doing. And so I am able to do exactly that. So it's important for us to get to that. So I'll just round up with this last part of it, that it's the global skill that is needed for the career for sustainable career is this, that you need to be able to you'll be creative, you need to have critical thinking at all time. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to lead without having the role of the leadership. Without having been in the leadership role, everything you do should show that you are leading. The way you manage your time should show that you are leading yourself, and every other thing. Collaboration, you need to be able to work with other people. Adaptability, wherever you are, you're coming in from Nigeria, remove Nigerian cap and begin to think about the way things are done here. adapt yourself to the systems and the lives here, to wherever you are. And then digital literacy, whatever it is that you are doing, you cannot but be able to understand that everything flows into systems, flows into, once you are able to understand that it is not just using Facebook or Instagram, but that you are able to comprehend using systems to do whatever you are doing, you will get to a point where, yes, you get into a global skill and you are able to enter into a sustainable career. I'm going to stop here. I guess my time is already up, so I'm going to stop here. So in case you want to question me now or maybe later.
All right. Thank you so much, Jide. Very well appreciated. I realize you have a whole lot to share, but our time is very limited. They say attention span these days in 2022, I don't know whether it's 2 minutes or is 1.5 minutes, so you have to do everything sharp, as we say here. But let me just quickly, I do not have any questions right now, but maybe I can ask a question and say, what do you think is the most, maybe that one singular most important thing you would say is the most critical? Just one thing. In now, maybe we're talking about transitioning now, because transitioning can be, from career to career. It could also be from country to country. So you've experienced country to country, okay, culture, to a different culture. So for transitioning from Nigeria to Canada, what would you say was the most important, thing, whether it's skill, whether it's attitude, whatever it is that helped you to quickly, move? I know you didn't have to wash plate or do any of such things. So that moved from, HR here, and you got a similar role in Canada almost, within a few weeks or a few months. So just one thing.
Okay. So the one thing is you need to know exactly what you want to do.
Great. Okay.
You need to decide that this is what you want to do. And sorry, Shayek, let me just try and correct something. We in Halifax alone, we have more than no, I won't say Halifax municipalities. We have more than 3,000 Nigerians in this place. I can tell you that more than 95% of the people that are working are not flipping burgers. They are working good jobs. I mean, people are afraid that, you will come in and you'll be washing. Nobody that I know wash plates. I mean, they're doing real good, and Africans, immigrant actually, are doing real good because of passion. They are passionate about what they do, and they get themselves into, this is what I want to do, and get into it. If it's that you want to move out of what you're doing, you want to do business analysis, you want to go do Scrum, you want to go and do whatever it is, just get yourself into it and focus on it. It gets you into where you want to be.
Great. Thank you so much. So plan B, know exactly what you want to do and focus on it. I want to bring out 2 or 3 other points from your from what you said. You talked about, your previous experience and all that you've had, The fact that you want to pivot doesn't mean that everything you've had, you throw away. They all come together to help you in, wherever you're going. So peradventure, you've been an IT, maybe an engineer or an accountant or even a teacher, for the last 15 years. The fact that we're saying, pivot and all that doesn't mean all that experience will go to waste. It's like, you would add all of that to whatever new thing you want to do, and that would even give you some sort of advantage, in moving forward. Because of time, I have 1 or 2 other points that I would have made from what you said, but I think probably later when we're doing a wrap-up of the whole day, I would bring up this point. Thank you very much. I need to call on the next speaker now, and I would let you know how we're going to arrange it. If you have to come back and help answer some questions, I'm sure you'll be very happy to do that. All right. Please, let's appreciate Jide George for sharing from his wealth of experience. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. So if you would help me disable your presentation. Oh, thank you. Okay, we see claps coming up for you. All right. So that I can share my own screen. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. I see. Let me just make some mentions for those that are in the room. Thank you, Adirunke, Blessing, Bukola, Charles, Chinwedu, David, Elizabeth, Falola, Femi, Folusho, Fine Goke, Ibiduni, Ibrahim. Ibrahim is one of our speakers. He's going to come up tomorrow. Josh, Joy, Juliet. Juliet also is one of our speakers. She'll come up later today. Kogi is one of our speakers as well. And Michael is coming up to our speakers, data analysis. Okay, coming up tomorrow. Later, recognize some more of us that are in the room. Just quickly use our next speaker. The Western Hemisphere conference because of time difference, so they may just quickly what they share with, and they may be able to get onto what this. I have as the next child sector adult transformation matter, this is agile. So Charles is in that space, and marketing advocate with over 19 years of combined work experience. Charles' industry experience spreads across strategic integrated marketing, plus digital, technology, engineering, banking, financial, medical, consulting, and retail. Retail, in fact, everything. So he has deep expertise in every aspect of agile transformation, driving double-digit efficiency improvements. He started his career in sales at Chelarams, Nigeria, and worked with EXP Marketing, South Africa, Brand Footprint Communications, West Africa, Mullen Lowy Linters Group, Nigeria as Director, Brand Activations, and Managing Director at Active Blue West Africa. Charles moved to the US in 2014 and is currently the Global Agile Transformation Leader for Shutterfly Incorporated USA. So Charles, okay, Charles is up already. Okay, so Charles, you are welcome to Pivot 1.0. It's a pleasure to see you. So I'll just ask you to go ahead and share experience from. So Charles talking. Charles is all right. So sharing his own pivot and tips and how we can pivot as well. Charles, over to you, sir.
So much for this. Something. Let me just go ahead and share my screen, if that's okay. We're a bit frozen now, right? Whoops. Okay, let me just. Can you see my screen?
Hello, Charles.
Can you see my screen?
Charles, we can see you, but not your slides.
Okay. No, this is going to be a challenge right now.
Okay.
Can you see anything though?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Great. Great. Yes. You're up now. All right.
Okay. So I hope I got this right. Pivot 0.1. Okay,
No, it's
so
it's 1.0, but it's fine.
okay,
0.1.0.
That's
There's one
that's
there.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Okay, it's still morning in Nigeria and in Canada and all over the locations that are present. So my name is Charles. Thanks, Mr. Chair, for the intro. I won't want to bug you too much with me. I just want to go into how we can be in demand. And this is just a very, very practical experience. I don't want to go into too much of technical, details. So this is just going to be a very simple and down to earth, presentation that we can actually have a conversation around. So my journey, sits in those boxes. And my journey actually started as pivoting almost. When I started thinking about getting into a job, and that's when I was even in the university. I made a decision that I was not going to look for a job. I was not going to write, an aptitude test, because I thought that was always a better way for you to stand out of the crowd. I always believe that when people zig, you can actually, zag. You can be able to actually stand out. So my approach then, was that even while I was in my final year, I started, volunteering for different brand agencies. I studied marketing as my first degree. So I took very serious passion out of this practice. And I started extremely very early, even when I was in my final year, I started volunteering. I will come to Lagos, I will join, agencies just to, just to allow me to come into the offices and, do things. And the experience I built over that time was what actually springboarded me into my first job. So my first job, I was actually got it while I was volunteering, for some agencies. So, but I left that job in 2000 and, I did that between 2002 and 2003, EXP marketing, and 2004. And that's my core area of career started, with this experience, sold into, brand communication, director of client services. I want to go into the story, build this so that you understand how we can also learn from this. So I became the client services in strategy and business for and food preparation. Of course, I was a pioneer, client services, director for that business. Brand is actually like a real business of ESP marketing, but I don't want to go into the stories now. In 2012, I joined the Low Linkers Group as director of brand activations, and within 2013-2014, we had to set up a regional subsidiary, called Active Blue, which I was named and moved covering the western region of Africa. I had the reason to relocate. The reason for relocation, of course, was to also see things, because I've had so much. I was feeling that I've gotten enough experience in as much as marketing, and you know, advertising and all that. But I knew that there was, practice that I was not able to get into, even though I had that status, I had that, accomplishment, but I knew that I was lacking in so many things. And in 2014, I took that very, difficult, decision to relocate to the United States for a lot of reasons, just to ensure that I'm able to get into best practices. And of course, kind of take my career to kind of another height. And in 2015, and that's what the first speaker mentioned something that was very critical. Even before you get, to wherever you want to relocate to, you must have done your research. I've done my research very well in such a way that I understood the agency I was coming to join, not for the digital. I've started, having conversations with them. I've started, exchanging emails, and I came in. Of course, I was given an opportunity, and that opportunity wasn't a paid and it didn't start with a paid opportunity. It was, oh, let's see what let's see what you can do. I remembered, how that went. I'll go into that detail in some other brands. So I went to TD Bank in 2016, becoming a program manager, senior, looking after digital assets and digital marketing. That's, if you pardon me, so digital marketing specifically. In 2018, I joined Best Buy. Best Buy is a global leader when it comes to retail in consumer electronics. I became a program analyst and an agile coach. My agile coaching there was at a time that Best Buy was change to adopt this working. So I took a lot of responsibility for myself with to lead this practice, this way of working. And how was I equipped for that? Because I prepared, I studied, and of course I was very, very confident, I believe myself as doable. And I became one of the pioneering, that of course led in electronic, biggest medical devices in the United States or in across actually. So I came and technology space. Then of course in 2020 I floated my own firm called Explorer Marketing. Between 2019 and 2020, I realized that there was a gap within the agile industry, which was, yes, agile is kind of created around the technology and software development process, but the marketing is, of course, struggling to be able to take, inspiration from the agile way of working around the software development. So that is a huge space, and of course, it's very important for that practice, marketing practice, to be able to, transition or move into, that, methodology or that way of working. It's and it's still a lot of, transformation going on right now globally within the marketing space. That's we will get into that. So I floated that, and I was, trying to consult here and there, and within that space, learning, teaching, consulting, I like to be the global agile transformation for the entire enterprise, to what we do now. For that. So I'll go into the next slide. I did very personalized are just my big steps, because all of those I mentioned in the initial slides, wonder what were the steps that I took to be able to get into that mentoring phase that I said. So the first thing I did was to discover. You have to have that, discover, like I thinking about even Nigeria, and I've started getting myself looking at opportunities, and like I just into the opportunity as soon as I came in. I unlearned, you have to unlearn, then I relearned. And of course, you have to have experiences and of course skills transfer. Like, the first speaker has mentioned, things around this in terms of how do you bring your skills, what you know how to do today, and how do you bring it into your, how do you make it an advantage? How do you bring it into your strength, and what is going to really sell you moving forward? Of course, you need to get qualified and you need to get certified. That is very, very important. And that's the hard job. You need to read, you need to really get qualified and get certified. You see reasons for all of this in subsequent slides. Of course, network and mentorship. You must network. That's very, very important. And you must be able to identify a mentor that needs to drive you. You must drive with somebody, along this journey. You must understand and embrace resume strategy, and of course, you want to build a personal brand, very important, and you also want to interview people, and of course you also want to go into job interviews. Then of course, how do you deliver the job? So the job delivery. Then of course you need to continuously upskill yourself. So in detail, like I mentioned, discovery, it's how do you assess your interest? The first thing you want to do is you want to discover who you are yourself. What are your interests? What are your values? And what are your skills? You want to really, like the first speaker also mentioned, but of course, there must be something that you are doing today. Like I mentioned to you in my journey, I studied marketing. I started with marketing. That had been my passion, to build, ideas, to build strategy, to be able to deliver brands, to be able to, connect to consumers and things like that. And of course, I understood my, my values, which of course I actually want to get to the top, regardless. I just want to be, a career person that of course is, consistently and constantly progressing. And of course, I knew that I had the skills. What are the skills that I had? I was able to, really understand the skills I had. And of course, I explored a lot of preferred activities and skills. So I chose what exactly I wanted to do and the skills I had. I considered a lot of, alternative career, industry. This is what I did when I came in. What are the of how the world is today. And that's when it is. I mean, that is how that you want to start how what technology is about today in the, I mean, that tells you today, even if you are sharp, everything that is driven by technology. So there's the opportunity, I'm sure everybody knows, by now. Then moving forward, you need to deep rating evaluation, across industries. So they that is around what's the industry. And that's what I did. I looked at the industry, at the project management industry. I looked at how do they actually set, and how do they, we get what are the opportunities lies, in that. So I'll keep moving because so let me from you need to, like I mentioned, you need to have a temporary, you need to temporarily you that your memory. That means that if you know, you think some things you don't have, so you need to stop thinking about your hundreds accomplishments. That was one of that affected me initially. I've been a manager, I've been a director, it's several places, so there's nothing new, fresh from trend. But of course, that was a major blocker. You want to really identify that you need to stop thinking about interest accomplishments. Then, of course, you block all managers for you so that you can be able to learn new things. You need to relearn, you need to upskill yourself seriously. It's informal but advanced. Google is as easy as anything. You can go on Google and you can learn the whole thing. LinkedIn is there, Udemy is there, YouTube is a very good resource as well, where you can learn anything you want to learn, or you get yourself, upskilled. Of course, experience and skills transfer, so at this point, you can now bring back what you have originally and, of course, align it with what you currently, acquired or learned. Then, of course, you become, much more, equipped to be in demand. Of course, like I mentioned, you need to get qualified and certified. Of course, you have to get certified. In some cases, it's certification qualifies or makes you eligible to practice. So it's as important as that. So there is a difference between you getting soft upskilling. There's another, there is another relevance for you to actually get certified. I will not be able to go into details of it. Network and mentorship, the first recommendation that, it's a no-brainer. You need to use LinkedIn to your advantage. You need to volunteer at boot camps, you need to build career friends. Of course, you need to pick a mentor. I'll run through this, resume strategy. What I did, of course, I ensure that all the resume I got over from Nigeria, I destroyed them because they were not making sense. They were not making sense. Wrong language. The way we build our resume is wrong. Very lengthy. It's not always tailored. So I ensure that I tailor all resume to all job descriptions. Of course, I highlighted all skills and I need to transfer to this role. Of course, I ensure that all my resume is on action and the of course you have to be very, very, your resume has to be metrics driven, right? You have to ensure you show your tools that you are proficient in, and of course you have to have a skill matrix. And of course, key achievement and accomplishment is also very key. But we can't go into this today. It's a whole lot of, I don't know if I have the time.
No, you don't. Actually, gone beyond your time. So maybe you can just, you can just,
or to come back to the session.
Yeah, that's fine. Just 2 minutes and minutes.
Okay. You want to build a personal brand. What I need was to ensure that I have a personal brand. I have to be structured. I look in terms of my profile is how, and of course I have to project myself is attractive. Those are important things that you need to do. You need to stand out of the clutter. Everybody is looking for. You have to ensure you stand out of that clutter. Of course, for you to be in front of somebody to get you have a there are so many ways that all a day and then our enterprise is in Africa. And at the same time, because there's so many things you are going to be learning, because there's a lot of expectation. You need to focus, and you need to have confidence and belief, and of course you need to engage in continuous learning. I don't know if there's any question and answer here. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much, Charles. I have a question for you quickly.
Yeah.
It says, that's from Mustafa Yusuf. It says, I'd like to ask what advice you'd give to an individual who is battling with the fear of failing. I am an athlete and I'm currently working on pivoting into the tech space as a product designer. So Mustafa would like to know, how does he overcome the fear of failing?
Mustafa, the first thing you want to do, and I feel that question because this is something that resonates with me directly. The first thing you want to do is to have that full belief in yourself that you can do it. For you to be an athlete, she'll tell you that you can be successful anywhere. That's the first thing you want to hold on to. And you want to be consistently, have that confidence in yourself. Just put yourself out there. For instance, you want to go into products. You want to go into product engineering or product development or within that space. Of course, like I mentioned in those slides, you want to really go and learn and do some research about that industry. The guy that does it today is not that I have 3-4 heads. It's just the fact that, and in fact, within the tech space, 90% of the jobs, you don't need to have a formal, education. It's just about skills and talent. It's about what can you do. All right. So the first thing you want to break is that you want to start learning. When you start learning, you start building some confidence. Then you'll be able to start, going out with what you have or what you know. But we can go deeper into this if you have some more time, Mustafa.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm sure for Mustafa, if peradventure, you still need some more clarity, maybe as we go on in the sessions, you'd also get some insight from some of the other speakers. I have a question for Charles, but before then, I also want to just say something that I picked from, Charles' journey, and that may also help you, Mustafa. And that is the fact that it's possible, it's doable. Okay, though our focus really in this, Pivot 1.0 isn't about, moving to another country and all of that. It's just about moving careers.
Yeah.
But of course, the first few guys have sort of helped us with moving careers and also moving to another, culture, another country and all that, which of course go hand in hand. But the interesting thing I've gotten from what Charles said and what Charles shared is that it's very doable. It's very focus on a plan and the plan. Move from A to B. Career you have kind of area. I like the fact that is a of into the text, and that's actually what moving people need where you are, where you are, like about the end of all the guys that can actually tell you exactly what to do, the certifications, certifications, training, research, and they can also tell you where you can find the kind of information you need to find in order to be able to get to where you want to get to. Charles, please, another question for you. Okay, say, what do you do if you have interest in more than one tech skill? Okay, an agency professional with over 11 years experience, but he has interest in Linux, data analytics, even cybersecurity. How do you know which to choose at the end of the day? Charles? Do you hear that? Or can anyone hear me? You can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Is Charles still there? Charles? Okay, Charles is muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Please, can you just run the question again? Please.
Okay, so Goke wants to know what he should do if he has interest in more than one tech skill. He's actually an HSC professional with over 11 years experience now, but he has interest in Linux, data analytics, and even cybersecurity. He wants to know how to choose at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, the first thing you want to apply is what are your values? I mean, what is actually the focus? What is driving you, right? You want to put this on a scale. You want to say, okay, cybersecurity right now, I know how serious is in demand. If you sit in Lagos and you're certified in cybersecurity, you have a right resume, you can get a job right there. That's how in demand security is. So then you want to look at pay. I mean, you want to look at what are the things that are driving you to pivot, right? If it's pay, you want to look at, okay, how much do they pay, within, so you want to put those things in perspective and say, these things that like you need to do and depth research, within the area that you want to go. So all things will be true. Organization, what is the entry barrier? What are things available? What is the availability of job? Right? You cannot be a product person that will require you to be on site. Right? There are some jobs that will require you to be on site, and some, of course, the organization. There are some that come from anywhere in the world. As far as you are with, as far as you understand it, can be. Right? So go those factors as guide your decision.
Okay, thank you. I was smiling there. Sorry, I was smiling there because you were asking him what his values are. Is it not? Is it not pay, Charles? Okay, what are your values? That's just a joke, actually. So you may have other things you're looking at, for choosing a career. So, but that was just funny to me, really. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think I would have to let you go, but I wanted to ask one question. Maybe I should just quickly. You did say that the first job you took when you moved to the US, you actually were sort of volunteer or was not. I just want to ask, how were you a job So practical terms. So they're trying to get remote jobs from here, Nigeria. You know, it's now 750 or 770. People are trying to get remote jobs from here in the US and all that. Some maybe 1, 2 practical, steps that you take and a job while you're still landing.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned it.
Yeah.
To land a, was that the question? Can you hear me?
Well, I can do maybe. Please, can you hear him? Because I can please let me know so that I can just continue talking.
Okay, so one thing that needs to be known, if I got the question right, that if you can work, if you can get a job remotely out of Nigeria, the answer
yes,
is.
What practical tip can you give us? Yes.
So what I would, the first thing is you need to be visible, right? You need to be visible. Your visibility is very, very important. And like I mentioned, you need to stand out of the clutter, right? I have seen a situation, somebody that got a job from Kenya in some of my past experiences. I think that was Best Buy or something. And she was hired from there to work from Kenya. But what did she do to be able to earn that? She was extremely, she's a very, very, strong lady that was extremely very visible and was thinking beyond her market. So you need to start thinking beyond Nigeria in terms of how you relate with people. What kind of network you belong to on LinkedIn, for instance. What kind of things that you need to really start. The technology has made all of these things easier, right? You can start building connections even while in Lagos, right? You can push your way to get a premium account on LinkedIn where you can email, you can send people your profile, you can be using assistants, be very, very strong in terms of, so your resume must really speak the language and of course going to be attractive to them, they will talk to you. So those are the things that you need to embark on. You need to be visible. You need to build a work on you need to stand out.
All right, great. All right, thank you so much, Charles. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Thank you for sharing your experiences, and thank you for answering our questions as well. Please let's appreciate Charles Alade for his time and for the nuggets that he has shared with us. We really appreciate you for honoring our invite to Pivot 1.0. All right, thank you, and we will let you know if we have more questions for you in the course of today's session. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Have a good one. Yeah. All right, so would move on now to I think we're actually behind time already. So we'll move on now to our next speaker. I'm going to be promoting her to, okay. Okay, let me try and do this before we move on to the next speaker. Let me try and do this. I'll just that and we'll move on to the next speaker. Just introduce her. That Kumbia, and then we would have her on the show with us. Okay, maybe what I should just ask quickly, let me just get some feedback from those of us in the room. How was it so far? Can you just come up with the chat and let me know how it's been so far. We'll be here for about an hour and a half, about 1.5 hours, and force actually go. So let me just feedback from us before I introduce the next speaker. What have you learned so far? The things as the your time here to be helpful. Have you learned one or two things? Let's get some feedback so that we know in the room. Feedback. All right. Well, I'm trying to get feedback from other people that are not. Maybe are just joining us. Michael, Umar. Okay, Toy, one of our speakers. Tochuku, people joining us. I think we had a question earlier on. Uluwatosi, Fisao, Johnson, Damilola, Olupumi, Inka, thank you for joining. Olani, Mustafa asked the question. Okay, so thank you everyone for part of this. Yeah, okay, today thank you. One of our speakers should be speaking later today. All right. So let me just introduce. Okay, Benga, thank you for speaking. I see you have your hand raised. Thank you for joining as well. Give an opportunity for that at the end of all of the sessions. Okay, so I'll introduce our next speaker. So next speaker is Omokumbi Adisi, a educational leader who brings over 20 years of transforming human resources for various organizations ranging from startups to across various industries in sub-Saharan Africa. She is the chief people experience at Leadway, responsible for Leadway Assurance, Leadway Capital Trust, Leadway V5, Leadway IRD, and Accra Services in Cote d'Ivoire, Leadway Health, and oversight of Leadway Pensions. He is also responsible for customer experience across all the entities. Before joining Leadway, she has had the opportunity to work with various organizations in different capacities, which include Standard Chartered Bank, Nigeria, Alcatel, Lucent Nigeria, and Airtel Network, Nigeria Zane, that Airtel among others. She's a licensed data practitioner, member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and serves various capacities at the state and national levels. Please let's welcome the 2P 1.0. All right, you're welcome to 1.0. kindly let's have you on board.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me, and I am praying sincerely that the network will cooperate with me. Can you all hear me? If you can, please let me see that in the chat room.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Charles, and thank you, Babajide, insightful sessions. I must say, you know, like I said when it was starting, I am well to. Is there any for you? Thank you once again, correlative not to be. And today, just be touching base, very brief on from the HR perspective, of the things I'm feeding to. Babajide has, in one way or the other, and even Charles spoken to them. But for those of us who are looking at pivoting and asking, well, perceptions around HR, HR people. I read an article yesterday. I was really laughing when I read it. There's different perceptions. So one thing I can tell you, you used to in terms of the days of personnel management is not it anymore. Every career actually pivot. Evolution is starting and it's continuous, and the speed at which is happening, the pace is so fast, is the blink of an eye. So today I'll just be speaking to what I may be looking for or looking at in terms of people who are pivoting, people who are looking at career change. You've always done something. Like I said in the beginning, you know, your career is not necessarily in one industry, one space. It's what you make of it, most importantly, like Babaji. So there's a compendium of knowledge that has been shared so far. So what I'm doing, I'll be looking at some of the things that are happening in the workspace today, or our environmental spaces, how that affected the evolution of work, the skills that are coming into the workplace for now and even in the near future. Even some of these have already been mentioned. What does that mean for us in the HR space? And you who is looking to move, or who is looking for a change, what should you be looking at yourself? So of course, the journey thus far, we started with the first revolution, the second revolution. Then somehow the 90s have a combination of both mechanical and electrical give us the we started seeing things, and there was that language is it automated, and what do we mean? Still looking at, okay, how do I get technology to program things to the extent that I have less reliance manually, because this was even more in the manufacturing industry. Today, the fourth industrial revolution.
Sorry, excuse me. You don't
Yes,
you don't have the slides.
I don't have.
You don't have video yet.
Oh, you can't see the slide.
Yeah. No, you can't.
It's. Let me stop and share. Oh wow.
Okay. All right.
Well, please let me know when you see it.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Network has to be nice to me today. Any luck here?
No.
Yes. Okay. I've sent to your team. Does anyone want to share your end? Maybe they just need to So I hate seeing
Okay.
I used to sit down. Not showing.
No. No.
Change my network.
Are you there? Okay, Kumbi, we can't
Shaya,
hear
can you
you.
see it now?
Okay.
Can you see it now? No, I went
No.
out.
Okay,
and
yes. Okay, now I can see it.
Okay.
Oh, I saw it for it.
Sorry.
Okay, now
I took it off because you said you couldn't see it. And then I'm resharing. Do let me know. Can you see it now?
okay.
I went
Yes,
off and I
yes.
changed my network. Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
we can see it now.
So let's
Yes, we
quickly
can
do
see it.
this while the network is still very nice.
Okay, yes, we can see it.
Okay. So my apologies for that. So I was referring to the different journeys that we've had in terms of technology and how it has sort of impacted our lives. And today we speak about the fourth industrial revolution, where you have everything connected. A number of people on this social you have on your phone, you have cameras in the house that are connected on your phone, and of course, your car alarm is connected to your phone. You have everything virtually connected around you, and of course, at the speed of light, you can control many things. There are people who, right from their phone, open their gates into their house, and that's what we're saying. And these are sort of generated so much data about our everyday life. Today, if you're on any of the social media platforms, you'll be amazed. Even right on your laptop, if you go back and you look at history, the volume of data that you are generating on a daily basis. When Google wants to send you something, they send you things based on the sites that you've been in. So things are changing. Technology is so rapid. People are looking for what? Seamless experiences every day. And guess what? In the next 4 years, our workforce will be majorly digitally native. By then, the volume of Gen Zs that you would have, Gen Zs were born typically into technology, you know, and so because the world is changing at an increasingly fast pace, it's enabling new ways of working. That means skill sets are constantly changing. You will see careers evolving, and what was okay would have evolved into something else. You know, I see so many things around. Someone brought the old table phone back then. I'm sure you used to tap the lines. Even a lock has been put around the tongue screen. Today, if you were to show a Gen Z that kind of phone, they don't know what to do, they don't know what that is. So again, that tells you the pace at which they are changing. And those phones, we had it before in the workplace anyway. Today, what do we have? You know, we have even organizations on WhatsApp. A lot also, a number of things are changing and they're changing fast. So what that means is we keep having as for people in the workplace, employees want digital experience the same way they have it at home, they have it at work, because now our work is very mobile. We see hybrid workplaces, as it were. COVID has enabled things, and we're seeing more changes. Things are not necessarily going to be as it were, and more you have what we look for before is work-life balance. It's not work-life balance, it's work-life integration. And you need to start thinking, what does that even mean for us in terms of skill set that is required to thrive in the workplace? So many things have sort of invaded our lives. I had a conversation with my husband, and we're talking about the rate at which people break down what is happening in our society. And I said, well, right here, we're driving, it's late at night, a call comes for you, you are still handling the call. Past when we were growing up, once our parents shut down, there wasn't any technology, it was till the following day, so they could relax. You could talk of work-life balance. Today, even at 12 midnight, someone from another side of the divide, you have a global meeting. Somebody like a Babajide would have had to stay up, or a judge, even to be able to be part of this, or early morning and there. And like bring it's flexible, it is more that if I want to apply, how do I get you won't be nice. It will work as a of people changing, that the new skills are coming with it. The workplace is digital, the culture that is different. So you have new people is different from what it used to be, and everything is more focused on a purpose-driven culture. It's around truth. Can I trust you? How much of Bide spoke on as one of the new skills as collaboration. There's nothing like it. We're using a collaborative tool today. This is Teams, and you can have everyone join from every part of the world, and that is what is happening. How do I get to that point where I can put my foot forward and I show my capability in all of this? So basically, what this means that we've shifted away to focusing on working just particular locations to start saying, how do we solve complex problems? And so as an HR practitioner, if I'm looking at you, I am more interested in the value that you're going to bring to the fore than just you being physically present. I'm looking at what is that intrinsic value that you would deliver, and what drives you as a person to be able to give value, because whatever drives you is in you and will be replicated irrespective of the situation. And remember, today we face what you call wicked problems, complex problems. We need people to be able to solve them. So work in the past was in a corporate office. It was very focused on knowledge. If I have the 10 certificates, I bring it to 4. Whether we ability to use the certificate may be a different thing. Promotion was surrounded by, okay, do you have that? You have that, and then you are moved up. Reliance is not really on email anymore. I've just spoken about WhatsApp, where this is a particular tool now that we're in. There are many. We're being versatile as it is. We're being agile as it is. Work is not static. It's not about control. It's about, do I trust you and would you deliver? So you see that work is anywhere, anytime. There's a lot of experimentation going on. Recall that we said that, look, technology is changing. Things come up almost every 35 days now. And how do we focus on being adaptive? Part of being adaptive is you being able to pivot and move to the next phase if you have decided that this is the next phase for me. And of course, you being solid, rock solid with technology and understanding the dynamism of work. So as an HR practitioner, if I'm looking at people who are pivoting, what would I be looking at? I will start with, there are really 4 elements. You want to focus on people who have potential to deliver. Potential to that. What does potential mean? It simply means the ability to adapt. Ability to adapt and to grow. Not only will you be able to adapt, but to grow into increasingly complex roles. Increasingly complex roles, because you see, everything is changing. Things are changing. People who can give you that potential to be able to adapt to things as they are changing. So your degree is very good. Certification is important, but we want to see more. We want to see more. And what is curiosity? It simply means you always have a penchant for seeking for that which is new. In other climes, it may be regarded as a change agility. You are constantly looking at what is around you and you are asking serious questions. You are solving problems real time, on time to deliver value. And I would want to see what you've done in the past and how you're thinking through things. And it is even in the level of curiosity that enables your ability to pivot. Anybody who is not curious today, I always use a language as it was in the beginning, so it is now and never shall be. It means that you are very complacent with how things are around you. In curiosity as you gain, that is your to be able to I promise you, engage to use your today. You are emotional communication, being and experience of that I found in it. It's an embodiment for you to be able to and also you will display the emotional intelligence, because you must know how to talk, how to write, how to communicate, and using emotions of the moment to be able to influence to gather value. And determination simply means, look, against all odds, you are ready, you pick up yourself in adversity, you're self-driven, you're self-motivated, you face obstacles, you look at the goals on the face, and you're ready to face them, because we need people who are resilient. And lastly, there's been so much to talk about diversity and inclusion. You need an inclusive mindset, you need a growth mindset, a mindset that is able to accommodate, that is tolerant. You talked about looking at different races, looking at cultural sensitivity. This is where it comes into play. It's the inclusive mindset as it is. If you're able to get this 5 and you get it right, then you stand a good word out there, facing the people that you need to, the things that you need to confront. Lastly, I mentioned about curiosity. It's important you brand yourself, and you must be able to show this curiosity in what you do, what you're currently to do, and even in the new role you're looking to look into. What insights have you gained? What have you learned? What have you done? It's the new knowledge that you're bringing to fore. You need to be able to learn new things, make bold moves. And I want to zero in on creating prototypes, especially, I'll give you an example. We recently took some guys, I don't know how much you guys are following, because a number of people now are moving from the traditional role. So you're finding data analysts, business analysts, some new sets in terms of programmers. I recently saw an ad. It was a newspaper headline that said the banks are in trouble and a lot of people have left. And I'm asking for those who want to pivot, who are here. That's an opportunity that is looking at us in the face. So the new guys we got them through a programming academy. It wasn't necessarily about the certification. It was about the skills they had learned and how can they bring value to us as a business, because now we needed it in an emergency. And so we are looking at what they've done. So have you built a website? What did you do? What are the problems that you solved? The things you looked at in the society? If you can show me the skills, how you've put your curiosity into use, a chance on you, and say, because you've done this and I see how your attitude, then we can give it a try. And we give these guys a try. They were put on probation. They are doing awesome things. So the probability that they are going to become full-time staff is what? 98% without any questions. Because what they showed us as prototypes and what they are doing now, they are giving extreme value. And with I think it was Charles who mentioned volunteering. You need to look at how you do that, especially in the digital, and it's out there, it's in the world. But what are you putting up on your social media spaces? I had someone who actually took some random data just to show me that she's now good at business intelligence. What she came up with was mind-boggling. So the question is, how are you branding yourself? How are you proving yourself? How are you providing a prototype and the capability of what you can do in the direction that you want to go? Only then can someone take a chance on you. Thank you very much, and I'll be open to your questions.
All right, thank you, Kumbi. I think we've we made a mistake in overloading our speakership on this, So I have, like, people on the waiting line there, the other speakers are like, asking me, oh, is it my time? Is it my time? Because we have quite a number of people that we've loaded. So subsequently, we'll give you like 2 hours to talk. All right, but I have a question. If others have questions, I may need to skip that, but I have a particular question that I think is very relevant. Now, we've said all these things. For HR people, how do we deal with age? So I'm a 50-year-old person, all these things you've said, I have portfolio, I have all that. So if a 50-year-old person comes to you and says, I have this, I have that, I want to work as a business analyst, will you hire me? I'm not 50 yet, but will you hire? So how do older people?
So there are many factors, and I take that in our clients. So for example, if you're in the US, that if you're filling a form, you'll be asked if you're a veteran or you're a classified worker as it is. In our space, there are different life cycles that organizations are going in through. If you are coming in as an aged person, we have had to take people depending on the layer that you want people into in the organization, depending on where you also have space in the organization. Yeah. But if it is a skill set and we need that person, even if you are a bit worried, remember I mentioned something, put me on probation and see what I can do. So you don't have to give me a full-time contract. Can you give me a fixed term contract, 1 year, 2 years, and let me show what I can do to you and prove my agility to you. So your ability to market yourself is also important. And that's why I said, if you've built things, you have prototype, put it out there. The company is going to ask themselves, am I looking for the age or I am looking for the value? And value will always trump.
All right. I'll hold you to that.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right.
See, when you see graduate trainees advert, it's for business continuity purposes. Remember, I said we have 5 generations. You will require the Gen Zs, yes, because of their digital natives. They are more versatile. And so organizations would require that. And depending on what they require, like I said, because they also look at the demographics of their workforce. You still need the old people for their stability and experience. We always say that.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I'll have to let you go now. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and for honoring our invitation to speak. If you're still available at the end of the day, and if there's some time, then maybe we can put out some other questions to you. Thank you.
Sure, you get my invoice in euros.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So I need to move quickly now to our next speaker. Our next speaker is a partner of Oak Interlink in the UAE. Yeah, and he'll be speaking to us. He also has a packed slide. I'm expecting him to help us with how to access opportunities in that part of the world. And I'll just introduce him quickly, and then we'll begin to so Dr. Alten Alten is a specialization in the field of power. He's currently the managing director of business consultant at IPEC in academic IT. Apart from this, also has a freelance Middle East and African countries. He's a dramatic consultant, mechanical engineer, and competence with national experience in strategies. Also in industrial management, in organizational and industrial psychology. All right. He has over 38 years experience in power and utility industry and oil and gas in the Middle East. Dr. Altemna acts as technical advisor to many industrial organizations. He will be speaking on 10 strategic steps towards pivoting. Because of our time, I don't know whether I'll be able to cover all the 10, but I guess you just try as much as you can within the 15-20 minutes that you have. So please, let's welcome Dr. Altemna. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation. So over to you, Dr. Altemna. Yeah, now, sir. You can go on. I don't know if you can hear him.
Oh, we can't.
You can hear him.
No.
Oh, so it's my network then. Sorry.
No, we can't hear him.
Okay, what's happening here now?
He's muted.
Sir, you're still muted. You're still muted. Dr. Mohammed, you're still muted. Okay, I think he's just trying to come up.
Okay, presentation clear now?
Oh yeah, great. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, very good. Thank you for this, to give me this opportunity to talk with you. And I hope, inshallah, next time to be on reality, face to face, and meeting each other and exchange our experience My name is Mohammed Al Timna, Managing Director of Apex Company in Dubai. By the way, I visit more than 27 countries, to 12 countries from Africa countries. I have a lot of experience related to the industrial organization started by power and water utilities, oil and gas, petrochemicals, and all industrial sector, by the way. Today is my sports talk about 10 strategic steps for building your career. This is suitable for everyone, even fresh graduate or the people they have a work, they are working already. Objective of this seminar brief to understand and learn how to start your career after graduation or during your work. We have very, very important steps. Number one, to understand labor market carefully. Number two, after you understand what does it mean by labor market and what are the challenges, what are the opportunity in the market, how to prepare yourself for the market, go to the next one is brand yourself professionally. How to brand yourself. Third one, searching for the job opportunity, because we are consider search for a job opportunity is the job itself. And when you are looking about job, that means you are working to, you have a work to looking about job. Number four, learn interview techniques, because a lot of the people, they are miss the job due to they don't know how to conduct interview. Even sometimes we advise HR people by themselves how they can be interviewed. Because sometimes people, they invite for interview and that doesn't know about how to conduct the interview. Sometimes they have go to another methodology, another strategy, okay, and they're not suitable for the interview itself. Start your practical life, building successful career, gaining valuable experience, identify your SWOT analysis, because everyone is different. What we can apply for X may be not suitable to apply for Y, because a lot of the people, they are watching a lot of YouTube videos, they attend a lot of meeting like that, and after that they take some of the theory for the other one and apply to himself without, they don't know what is his capability, what is his strengths, like that. Number 9, seek out professional certification. Number 10, keep success as your lifestyle. First, we'll talk about how to understand your labor market. طبعا labor market have a demand and supply. The labor market is the economy function with the demand and supply. But supply and the demand also is influenced by a lot of changes, like economics, like what happened during Corona time, technology, like what happened now, especially technology going up. And also I have many points about technology, but I will inshallah explain later. Politics, sometimes you find some of the politics happen, geographic issue, and the social issue. This is the main factors affect for the labor market. Number one, technology, one of the challenge in front of all of the people, but you should know technology is eliminate job and create jobs, kill the jobs and create jobs. Then you should understanding what are the labor market needs, what are the future is, okay? For creating jobs now need more productive, high skill, more reliable, better paid. There is important tips about labor market. Tip number 1, all jobs, even most low skill, will require certain of level. Number 1, basic education, communication skill, and the technology skill. This is a very important tip. Tip number 2, all jobs which require human touch will continue to be in demand. Okay, like now the market looking about vocational jobs. Vocational jobs are very, very important now and very rare now. We are searching about strong and good and qualified welder, fabricator, machinist, electrician. All the vocational jobs needed now in technology is very, very important. Yes, but you should have some core plus technology, not technology only. I am a mechanical engineer, but I know technology. I am electrical, but I know technology. I am dental doctor, but I know technology. Then everyone now should select what his core, and he improve the core, develop his core, and after that, granted or protected by technology. Tip number 3, workplace setting and the business practices and the knowledge change very fast. Making life learning is essential as a must. Now, we are suffering from huge information and knowledge. When I am graduated in 1984, okay, and joined power plant, it is information and the knowledge, it is very rare, very difficult to get it. Very difficult because we have lack of knowledge, lack of information, lack of data. But now we are suffering, we are complaining, we are sacrificing for huge data. But which data you needed? Which information you are looking? Okay. For now, workplace already changed, business practice already changed very fast. Tip number 4, new digital technology open market around the world. Then increase across the global competition and affection salary. Then reduce job opportunity. But what we can do? We are doing to understand what the market needs is. Okay. Number 5, over next years, majority of service industry jobs will move offshore from country to other as a business home. 6, globalization, changing economic labor supply. What happened? What we can do now? Labor market check. Number 1, you should have education and qualification. Don't stop about your graduation certification only. No. Learn and learn many. And enhancing your skill. Look for yourself. Know yourself first. See what is your vision. Concentrate about your self-learning. Certification and accreditation, it become must. Job localization strategy now. Now you find in your country many company come to you. Look about what are the best company. Look about the others. Okay, technology change. This is all a challenge. And the market trend change. Economic growth trend. Social and political issue. Okay. Then what I can do, you should prepare yourself for the market. How to start from here? Number 1, build your professional. Okay. Try to achieve a good brand for yourself. Okay. Here, I would like to advise you, your CV designed and prepared to do only one thing. Get an interview link, but consider it a of success door. يعني stage is very important because it affects you. For this reason, to build your CV. Okay. Also, you should, a good CV is enough to get your perfect job. Okay. So without a CV, you may lose potential job. Combine between the two concepts, okay? Prepare your CV good, a good condition. Okay, don't lie, don't make copy and paste from internet. Okay, write what is the actual your skill. Okay, because in today business environment to get a higher level jobs, it is important to provide your employer with a strong and valuable CV, resume, profile, or portfolio. Okay, you should know the difference between what are the CV, what is the difference between resume and the profile, portfolio, like that. Okay. طبعا this one is a subject you can learn it. After that, search for job opportunity. Searching of a job is a job itself. But please concentrate about what you are doing. Okay. Most of us search for job responding to job posting. You will find that success strategy to be proactive, not reactive job search. Go to the companies, knock the door, build your relation, asking people, okay? Don't hesitate, don't feel shy. Here is the sum of the job search strategy: position what you are seeking, geographic segmentation, lifestyle value, skill and interest, knocking all door, agency repetition, networking and elevator pitch. Okay, but this be strategic in your job strategy always. Learn an interview technique. طبعا putting your best self forward and getting the job. Some here is the everyone to learn the interview. You are in everyone doing interview because you are talking with the people. So be relaxed when you are going to interview, okay? Because it is every one of the life tools, it's sensible solution for life challenge. Because job interview is a meeting in which employer asking a person apply for job question to see whether that we be in a right position to do the job or not. People now looking about how to add value to their company, to their business. But please looking about and concentrate about value, about solutions, about your behavior, about your challenge. Start your practical life. Here is the job competency. Look about yourself, increasing your knowledge, enhancing your skill, and also modify and looking about what are the attitude and the behavior. Because sometimes you are you good, and they have a strong skill, and but attitude not good. Attitude not matching with the job which the employer looking about. So we need to enhance knowledge and also enhance skill and also to be suitable attitude and behavior. Here is the one of the important to know what you do best. You should have flexibility and adaptability, enhancing interpersonal skill. Okay, keep always your training record, understand, learn and apply, build your professional network. Always you should have right mindset. After that, build your successful career. Okay, make career plan. Once you have you join a job, since you are started your job, you started to plan your career for future. Okay, plan your career to help you to get the most out of your work life. Should you have SWOT analysis to know here is the career planning. Okay, number one, know yourself. Number two, exploring your options. Number 3 is making a decision. Number 4 is move up. After that, gaining a valuable experience. Valuable experience, there are experience not factor for the time. By the way, when you are staying in the company 10 years, you have only 10 years service, not 10 years experience. Experience, number of troubleshooting you are contributed, number of problem solved in the workplace, how many contribution with your friends, with your team, how many idea you are sharing. Okay, this is the experience. The experience not factor with the time, service factor of the time. Okay, since you are joining the work or you have a work now, you should look about your experience. Some help tips in طبعا during your workplace: initiative, contribution, positive thinking, teamwork, proactive, respecting, practical, challenge, and good listening. After that, طبعا, from time to time, every 6 months, you should study yourself to do SWOT analysis for you. Okay, like what are your strengths to keep it, and what are your weakness to enhance it, and what are your opportunity to utilize it, and what are your traits to prepare yourself for it for future. Number 10, get certification. Try to get certification, demonstrate your commitment to professional and enhance the professional image, reflect your achievement to building career, build self-esteem for future, establish professional credibility, and improve career opportunity. Okay, prepare your greater for responsibility, provide for potential, food, recognition, success, and your lifetime here is right. Organization you are looking, what is the vision you are looking through optimization, through working good, working hard, it will get success. Success not like that, this is the wrong thinking. Success right like that, this one is the right thinking. You cannot change your past, we cannot, but you can change how your past affect you now. And remember, celebration any success and give recognition to achievement. And by the end, conclusion is write your CV, then review it by advisor, by good friend, by your reference. Attend the training session, workshop, and conference. Be organized in your job search, identify your needs, learn how to perform job interview professional, utilize support system, and be flexible and adaptable for job requirements. Shooting always to continue improvement for your ability. Experience not in the time you will spend in the job, as I mentioned. Job satisfaction not depend on salary only, but always job security and work environment. Last one, learn in your practical life that everything is relative. Thank you for all. Short time, but I am happy to receive any questions to answer you. Because
right.
whatever we can talk too much, but never like what you asking me to give it to. What is the right answer? What is the suitable answer? What is the reply to you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed, really appreciate you coming on board Pivot 1.0. Thank you so much. You know, what we've had recurring with all of our speakers, which Dr. Altemna also spoke quite a bit about, is one, that it's possible, and it also depends on you. You know, you are the key person in this equation. So it's not about, oh, there are no jobs or it's difficult to pivot or what have you. It's about how you position yourself, how you brand yourself. I think all of the speakers have talked about branding yourself, okay? And how you prepare for and seek for the opportunities. I think one of the speakers talked about, which was Dr. Mohammed also talked about, you don't wait for the opportunities, we need to seek it out. So as we begin to look towards pivoting, even as you get things, and I think Kumbi also talked about that, as you create your portfolio, do your prototype and all that, then you need to seek out the opportunities. She also talked about, and I think Charles also talked about it, and he has also talked about it, you need to be visible. All right, so these are some of those things that need to do. I would get now for you, but I think do quickly. I'll ask you. I think it's, I don't know, it's a question of a question. The person had to resign after 20 years of work, and then labor pool. I'm seeing that myself come back into the work straightforward. In terms of experience, respect, and business focus, I consider it now into that is challenging as a job. CV templates are like this as well, as ATS technology looks for this in searching, filtering CVs. Okay, how do you incorporate your zest for the job, soft skills and achievement with team and the likes, which were not directly what was measured by the business you worked with in positioning yourself for the job you now desire? Dr. Altemna, you talked about packaging your CV, so I think this question is sort of related to that, which is, he's done all of the work, he's done quite a number of things. Now he needs to package himself after 20 years of work in the field and wants to get back into maybe something similar, something different. He's just wondering what's the best approach to packaging a CV to reflect what is needed, okay, in the job market now. Dr. Mohammed, did you get that?
Hello?
Get all that I read out. Did you get what I was the question?
Question, please.
Okay, so what's going to happen is, sorry that I just read all that out, maybe because I was rushing. I'll come back to you if we still have some time after the next speaker. If we still have some time, I'll come back to you with this question and then we can answer it. Is that fine?
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, great.
Hello?
Thank you so much. Please,
hello?
Yeah,
hello?
I can hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Again, please. Sorry. So I would come back to you.
So I was saying that I'll come back to you after now.
Okay. I understand now.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably with this question.
I am with you. I am.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, and thank you very much, everyone that is still on the call. Now, I want to introduce the next speaker, and I think this will be very interesting because he stands in the space of a technology expert and also someone that takes on people. Should I call him an employer now, because he's in a position where he's able to take on people that are in tech into his team. So he has a good idea of the kind of skill set that the industry is looking for and what is in demand, particularly in the Nigerian space. So we've had some people talk about, outside of Nigeria, but particularly in the Nigerian space. And also we'll be sharing with us how we can actually take advantage as we pivot and take advantage of tech opportunities in Nigeria presently. I will be introducing now Toye Sholadoye, who is a multidisciplinary business and technology leader with over 2 decades of cross-industry experience spanning telecoms, financial services, infotech, and advisory. So himself, he has sort of pivoted from industry to industry, from the tech, telecoms to the financial and all that. He holds an engineering degree from the Nigerian Premier University. Okay, if you say so, but it is. Okay, well, an MBA from certification. Also, University, he currently serves as the Chief Technology Officer, Union Bank, a leading Nigerian bank. Please let's welcome. Let's welcome Toye Sholadoye to Pivot 1.0. Just a minute, sir. Let me just do one thing here. Okay, please let's welcome Toye Sholadoye to Pivot 1.0, Chief Technology Officer, Union Bank, Nigeria. Yeah, Toye, I'm sure you can come up now.
All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. Please confirm that you can hear me and you can see me as well.
Yes, we can hear you. We can't see you though, or we can hear you.
You can't see me. My camera is on.
Okay, we can see your slides now.
You can see my slides, but you still cannot see me.
Okay, let me confirm that. Okay, yeah, we can see you now. Can see you.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. I think it's been a long day. I've been listening for better part of over an hour now, and I've learned a lot myself. So a lot of things have been said, and I will try not to repeat most of those things. I know Sheye had said from Nigerian perspective, and I know most of our digital people or people trying to pivot into digital are not quite interested in the Nigeria space right now. Everybody is global. But let me tell you that Nigeria is part of global, and it does prepare you to pivot to other geographies, okay? So as we pivot into digital career, you're able to pivot even to other geographies, so you start from somewhere. One thing I discovered earlier in my technology career is that the same skill, the same devices, the same equipment, the same technology that we use in Nigeria is exactly the same thing that is used everywhere in the world. So an advantage for a tech skill or a tech resource is that you don't have to recertify when you move into new geographies. You know, if you are in law practice or medical practice, you know, when you get into new environment, new jurisdictions, you have to recertify according to what they do there. But if you are in digital, you are universal already. Even if you are in HR, you know, there are different pockets of requirements in different environments. But if you are in tech,
whatever you learn in any part of the world. So a computer in Lagos, Nigeria is the same in New York, in the US, is the same in Sydney, Australia. So you are just able to hit the ground rolling, and that's why you can work anywhere in the world from anywhere you are. So in the brevity of our time today, I will explore with you 3 dimensions to leveraging digital skills to grow your career. And some of the things I'll be talking about will be things that have been said before, so I won't dwell on those. I will just probably reinforce, but I'll start by characterizing the digital landscape in itself, just so that we know this thing. We say, oh, digital, and we see a lot of things around digital, and people at times even get confused. I know today we're looking at skills and career, so we'll take a stab at digital skills, and then we go on to how do you even get started? You want to pivot into digital skill, or maybe you're in digital already. How do you get on and all of that, right? So let's have a quick overview. Some nuances, things we hear around digital. Okay, so we have digital technology, digital transformation, digital services, platforms, solutions, product, tools, skills, and so on and so forth. The jargons, goes on, and you are wondering, how do I find my place in this whole mix? Let's simplify it by focusing on digital transformation. Simply put, and you may not find this definition anywhere, so it's my own coined, simplified definition of digital transformation. So it's simply that you are using digital technology to solve everyday problems. So what's digital technology? Computer, electronic technology, electronic tools. You are using them to provide solutions to everyday problems. Like they taught us in engineering, that when you use practical application of sciences to solve everyday problem, they call that engineering. So for example, people need to get from Lagos Island to Lagos mainland, or Lagos mainland to Lagos Island. They will get on a boat and paddle across. At some point, some people felt like, oh, that will take forever, that's too dangerous. Then applying natural laws of sciences, bridges were built, and then we can drive cars over the water, and that's an engineering solution to everyday problem. It's not different for digital transformation. We use digital technology to provide solutions to everyday problem. So we've said a lot today, right? Digital is what is it today, and digital is what the future is. As a matter of fact, digital is going to become so democratized, and we are seeing that already. Everybody and anybody would need to have certain depth of digital understanding to be able to relate in the world in the next few years. Some of the penetrations we've seen of digital technology were not things that we anticipated before. I know we've gotten so used to some things that is like it's been part of our life forever. I know most of you, if you want to send money to someone now, you whip out your phone and you use the mobile app of your bank to send that money without going to the bank branch and all of that. Before, you couldn't even send money from the bank branch and someone can pick it from another branch of that same bank. You have to go in physically, collect the cash, and then go into the branch where that other person has an account and pay it into the account. I'm talking of interbranch within the same bank. But today, you can send money from the comfort of your office or home, or while driving while commuting on the road. You send money from your account to someone in another bank in Nigeria. You can even send to another bank abroad in other countries. That's how digital has so transformed our lives, and that's going to continue. So today, globally, we are experiencing an unprecedented and intense global digital transformation. Nothing is spared. Think of it. Every area of human endeavor, every aspect of our lives. So I just spoke to financial services. Think of oil and gas. Think of telecommunication. Think of hospitality. Think of medical practice. Everywhere, everybody is using digital transformation to change how they do things. Now, if we want to situate this so that it's not scattered in our mind, I have a model here that I've tried to use to group areas where we are seeing digital transformation. I'm laying all this background just so that you know how you plug in at the end of the day with your skill as you pivot into a digital career. Now, customer interaction. So there are these 4 domains: customer interaction, data analytics, AI, ML, operation digitization, and then digital business. So what you see organizations doing is that they are using digital technology to transform how they interact with their customers. So all the frontline engagement between a business or an organization and its clients transformed using digital technology. And that's why you see some organizations now, instead of going in to those organizations to place an order, you can place an order online or on an app, right? It's as simple as that, but that's really what we're talking about, right? I'll move on quickly because of time. Data and analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You know, there's been huge data created over the years in petabytes, you know, huge volume of data that holds really good value, that when we, you know, interrogate and analyze those data, we are able to see great insight. And businesses today are using digital tools and technology to get information, to get real insight from those data. And that's what we call analytics today. We call it machine learning. The machines are now feeding. When we say machines, we mean computer. The computers are feeding on those information to behave like human being. So machines then learn the kind of intelligence that human being can exercise. So you can imagine when you show 1 million pictures of a cat to a machine, all right, and you write algorithm that studies all the features of that picture, and then you show the picture of a dog to the same machine, and the machine will tell you that this one is a dog and that other one is a cat. That's machine learning simplified. You know, this is, I mean, it's really catching on. So the other part is operation digitization, and this speaks to digitizing the enterprise in itself. So beyond how you interact with your customer, insight you're getting from data, I mean, you want to make your organization to be more efficient. So before you write a memo on paper, 5 people need to sign, and you move it from one table to another and then to another. Organizations are digitizing all of that, paperless. If you write your memo, if you need to seek approval, somebody is in Singapore, the next approval is in America, and the third person is in England, and all of them will approve within 5 minutes. And it is non-repudiation because the system is secured. No other person can approve on your behalf, and when you approve, we know it is you. Everything is secured, is encrypted, and all of that. There are so many other areas of enterprise digitization that businesses are looking at. I want you to be picturing in your mind the opportunities that exist for a digital worker as I'm going through all of this. Now, the 4th area is digital business model transformation, where businesses then says, okay, this thing we are selling, can we package it as a digital product or digital service and sell it to people? Right. When you think of digital product and service, it's such that has this nature that we call FIP, free, instant, and perfect. Without boring you, that means that the cost of producing more is absolutely free. Economists call it marginal cost. So once you produce the first one, if another person wants to produce again, I mean, if you want to produce a second copy, you don't need to spend anymore. The money you spend to produce the first copy is just, and you can think of it in the layman terms as you have prepared this presentation that I'm presenting today. If I want to use it again, I don't need to spend any effort. It's zero cost because I've prepared it already. I will just present it. This is a digital product. That's the way software is hard. That's the way digital product and services are. So if you use Uber or Bolt to book a ride, Uber is not building that platform again. They've built it once and for all. It's a digital platform that has digital products on it, right? So many of those, and what businesses are doing is to package their existing business and present it to the world as digital product and services that people can consume instantly without leaving where they are. You buy it as digital solution, you consume it as digital solution. You can think of music that you download and pay for in your iTunes, right? Or Spotify, right? Those music tracks that you are downloading and paying for, the same one that you download, another person will download it again and pay the same amount of money. It's unlike when the musicians were producing their albums on record plate or CDs, and they are distributing it. Each time they have to buy one CD to produce another copy. So that's what we mean by free, instant, and perfect, and it's delivered instantly. So these are 4 domains where we are seeing digital transformations happening. What is driving this really? I'll just quickly breeze through this. What's driving this? I mean, there is a global youthful population. In Africa, 60% of our population is below 25 years of age. And I know Kumbi spoke earlier to the generation XYZ. You know, most of the guys are in the Gen Z, digital native, so they just want to do everything digitally. I mean, there's a rising interest in tech, even for the older guys. Internet coverage is expanding, smartphone is penetrating everywhere. So with smartphone, everyone now has a computer on his hand. Before now, even as an engineering student undergraduate in one of the in the best school, not one of the, in the best school in this country, the kind of access you have to computer in those days was quite limited. But today, everybody has access to a computer on their hand in the name of a smartphone, so you can do so much. Of course, the pandemic, recent lockdown, accelerated all of this digitization. Employers have now seen that people can work remotely, that a lot of things can be delivered digitally ever than before. Of course, governments of serious nations are now backing digital advancements. Okay, they are digitizing the government, they're encouraging people to digitize as well. And of course, investors are seeing this as an area where they can make a lot of money. So people are putting money into digital ventures. I mean, in Nigeria, we made at least 2 unicorns in the last few years. You know the names. So by the way, Unicorn is a company that is valued at over $1 billion. So, and the effects are there. Lower processing costs, transaction costs are coming down. We are seeing improvement in delivery speed. We're seeing new revenue opportunities. We're seeing new career opportunities, new jobs are emerging, and so on and so forth. Now, let's begin to bring it all together. I know you are asking yourself, where is my space in all of this? What is for me in all of this if I want to pivot into a digital career? You need to understand the nature of the digital landscape, that it is an ecosystem. If you cast your mind back to all those elementary things we learned about ecosystem in biology and all of that, in an ecosystem, you have different players, right? And you have different functionalities, different roles, and different layers as well. It's the same thing in the digital ecosystem. So in the ecosystem, you have the platforms and you have the value partners, the contributors that are bringing value to the platform, right? So the ecosystem needs different multiple types of people, roles that exist in the ecosystem. So if you look at the illustrative chart that I have here to just exemplify what an ecosystem looks like. The ecosystem itself is a market. You have products and services. It's a shared economy. Nobody singly can own and control it. You need yourselves, all right? So take Uber, for example. Uber needs the driver, right? And the riders need Uber. And the rider needs the driver. And the driver needs Uber. So it's an ecosystem that thrives on interdependencies, partnerships, collaborations. And like I said, there's spectrum of roles, functions, and skills. And that is where you come in. All those diverse roles, functions, and skills that are required in the ecosystem, there is something for you in there. Based on what I've listened to from previous speakers, right from Jide to Kumbi and to Dr., you would see that you can find your space. They've told you what you need to do, believe in yourself and all of that, continuous learning and all of that. And I'll still touch on a few of them. But I want you to look in here and say, which role can I play there? Am I a supplier? Am I a customer or consumer? Am I an employee? Will I be a developer? Look at developer there as representing a gamut of technology skills. I will unpack that in a few minutes. Would I be a manufacturer? What is my part? And when you look at connected devices, will I be working on devices? Will I be working on the core infrastructure? I mean, will I be a data analyst? Will I be a data provider? Will I be a data user? There are just so many things we can think of in terms of this ecosystem. So digital skills outlook. Let's move into the skills now. Having characterized the digital landscape, digital transformation, what the ecosystem looks like, let's go into the skills. I will take a generic perspective, a generic look at the skill to start with. And this data from World Economic Forum, quite recent, is looking at a span of 2022 to 2025. And it's looking at skills generally to say, what are the skills that will matter in the next 3 years? Which ones will be growing, which ones actually are trending, and which ones will be declining? All I want you to do on this slide is just eyeball all the skills here. If you look at the growing skills, more than 9 out of 10 are related to digital. All right. But the way they are related to digital and the way you need to think about it is not all of them are core technology skills. So look at analytical thinking and innovation. You don't need to be a core technology person to embrace this or to possess this skill. So I'm saying to you that where you are already, you have skills that are portable into the digital environment. So analytical skills, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking, technology use and monitoring is growing. Technology design and programming. So this is core tech, but your critical thinking, your analytical thinking is required for design, whatever you want to design. Be it you want to design an organization, you want to design a house, or you want to design technology. Of course, your grit is important, staying power, and of course, problem solving. So look at the trending skills. Virtually all the growing skills are the ones trending. Now I want you to go to the declining skills, and you will see that manual dexterity, precision, it's a declining skill. So that I know how to type very well. Who cares, right? So I want you to breeze through that, and you see some of these skills that used to be very important: coordination and time management, quality control and safety awareness. Not that these skills are not important, or not that they will become important. They will still be important, but they will not be the skills that we employ so much more people. They will not be skills that will be in the front line going forward. Jobs of the future. This is from Adecco Group. You can, the reference is I think I got disconnected for a bit. Please confirm that you can still hear me.
Yes,
you can see
yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. So I'm at jobs of the future, and it's a case of pick your own. I know some of you have asked questions that, oh, I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking also of that. I don't even know which one to zero in on. Just keep going with the two. The human capacity, right? Or the human being has capacity to take 3 or 4 of these roles at different times, but you need to know your own capacity. But if you have an interest in more than one, then go with the 2 now. At some point, you will just find that one is too difficult for you. You don't want to continue, or you just see that you are more aligned in terms of interest and passion to one over the other, and you will see what you push on. And maybe if you are like me, you may get to a point that you are even able to consolidate on the 2, right? And then you find a niche that very beautifully. So I'd worked in telecoms for many years and in financial services for many years. But then it comes together for me as a fintech expert, right? So every day in my job, I come across things that are related to telecoms and things that are related to financial services. So you may just find yourself being able to, bring the 2 or 3 together. So these are the jobs of the future, and you can look at all of them. These are digital jobs, and is to ask yourself, which area do I want to play in all of this? Now, let me use this to tidy it all up on the specific jobs that you should be thinking of if you are in this environment in Nigeria and you want to get into an IT or digital career. Someone has mentioned product management. All right, so we know what that means. You are designing product through from ideation stage all through to product commercialization. You are owning a product. Program management or Scrum Master, like they call it in the agile world. All right, managing projects as well. Business analyst, right, or business analysis. These are I categorize them as delivery management, and these are jobs that I say are not core technology, but they are very important for success in any digital endeavor. So these jobs are in high demand. You may not know how to configure any IT equipment. You may not know how to write a line of code as a programmer, but you can have a very successful digital career working in any of these jobs that I've just mentioned. And what it takes to become proficient in any of these areas is just widely available in what all of the previous speakers have spoken to. I'll still touch on some of them and some specifics that you can start doing immediately today. Time will not permit me to begin to explain what each job means, but by all means, when we get to question and answer, please ask your question if you want me to speak on any of them. So the support functions. Let me take the support function, then I will now zero in on the core development functions. So technology services, they are important technology services that are core technology services, but they support the digital function as we know it in terms of frontline digital. So when you look at technology broadly, so it covers all these tech services and even the core digital development services, jobs really. So technology operations, these are people on day-to-day looking after technology back-end equipment, those ones that you don't see. Today, everybody sees an app. For that app to work, there's a lot that is going on in the back, okay, on servers, in data center, and all of those. And that's what I call tech operation. There's application or support, people that will respond to you if you have an issue with your application. They are not the developers, but they support you when there's an issue and all that. There's information and cyber security. That's very, very big. I know Jide spoke to that. It's extremely big and global today because all of these digital things we are creating is creating space, attack surface for the bad boys, to want to explore, to cause damage to people that are using digital platforms. So information and cyber security is really big to protect and secure our online and digital life. Tech infrastructure, networking, of course. No system works in isolation today, so all of them have to be connected together, and that's why networking comes in. Now, for the core, okay, let me go to enterprise support. If you work in corporate environment, even if you work in a digital company that is not like service industry, like financial services or telecoms. Let's say you work in a development house and all that. There are rules, regulations, and most of them have to comply with. So they are compliance analysts. So they are digitally focused compliance analysts. They are digitally focused legal people that are writing contracts, for legal solutions and all of that. When most of us, when we download app, we will see agreement. I know we don't read it. I don't read it all the time. So we just click agree and move on. It's the software we need, it's the app we need. There are people that are creating those things. They have a good enough understanding of digital, but they are lawyers, all right? They are operations people that are just doing their normal day operations work. What do they need to do? They just need to understand the business flow behind a digitized solution, right? And as they do that, they use tools. They are in demand globally. They use tools. Yeah, some of these things are automated, but we need people to man the automated system. There's something called fallout management. Not everything that is automated works the way we intended them to work. So when something falls out of automation, some people pick them up and take care of the issue. We have those operations. We have customer experience that manages customer journey, ensuring that solutions are optimally designed, to appeal to the user, make it user friendly, and all of those things we like to talk about, and of course, marketing. So let me finalize this page on the core dev skills. And this is the one that I know most people talk about. I want to be a developer. By the way, these guys are the center of the digital transformation that we're experiencing globally. It's all about software development. It's about software engineering.
Okay, I think Toye went off for a bit there. Okay, Toye, you're back. Okay. All right.
Okay. I think I'm back. All right.
Yes, you are. Okay.
Sorry about that. So, okay.
But you need to wrap up now. So you need to wrap up now.
I was talking about the core development.
Toye.
All right, that's fine. I'm in the file.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I was just saying we need to wrap up now.
Yes, I should be wrapping in the next 3 minutes.
Okay, great.
So, I mean, core developers, software engineers, data scientists, testing analysts, quality assurance analysts, UI UX designers, and all that. Okay, let me close by saying that, see, by default, people think of, oh, you must have a numeric science or engineering background to thrive in a digital space. Sorry, the answer is no. Anybody, anyone that can open up his mind can thrive. They say the human mind is like a parachute, right? That if you open it up, it will function best. You just need an open mind, like they said before, embrace continuous learning and all of that. Now, I have seen in my career, people from business background, commercial background, even humanities, people that studied art. I have a project manager that studied French. No, that studied English, actually, English. This person, and she was a project manager in IT and a very good one at that. Recently, I interviewed someone for core development job, and she studied mass communication, and she passed the interview. And if you pass my interview, it means that, and this is not interview for beginners, it's for experienced people. The first thing I ask you as a developer, if you're an experienced person, is to give me the project. An experienced person, I mean, you give me the project you have done, and you will give me a link to the project, and we double click on the project together, because you tell me we did, you will tell me what you did there. This girl passed. She studied mass communication. So your background is no limit. A digital career can be background agnostic. You can learn it from scratch. And today, organizations are not even hiring that much for certificates anymore, and it's getting into our environment. We are hiring for what you can deliver. So anything that does not follow intuition or logic, I'm telling you, is either magic or voodoo. It's just like they say, when you put calabash on somebody's head, money will begin to come out of the mouth. That one, it doesn't follow any logic. You will ask if such money will have serial number. I don't know, right? So when you look at your intuition, logic, and all, think of medical science, think of engineering, think of anything. At the end of the day, everything is connected, and that's the way digital is as well. It follows from some logic. So all of this I will skip because it's been spoken about in terms of passion, alignment, and all of that. So let me quickly tell you that I have some logos here which you may be familiar with. If you are not, please screenshot this page and go and check out what is available for you, because there is no shortcut. You must learn, you must study. There's no shortcut. But as you begin to pick your skills, you have started and you keep going. Yes, you are learning now, but you also need to learn hard skills in the area where you are interested in, be it project management, be it architecture, be it development, whatever it is, you need to start learning. These are places you can learn. Oak Interlink put this platform together, and I know they deliver a lot of trainings in some of the job areas we have talked about. Go explore Oak Interlink, explore Coursera, Udemy, Pluralsight, EDX. There are a couple of them, and these people, they have cheap trainings. Some of them, they do discount. You see training for 3,500 naira. You see even free trainings. okay? And of course, YouTube and all of those ones. Now, don't miss this. Ensure that you get practice experience even before you get into your first job. No matter how small that practice experience may be, get practice experience. See, I tell you, I had an accountant, right, into digital, and what this guy showed me blew me off. He just showed me what he has done before, how some people wanted to write an exam, and he created an exam practice portal for them using SharePoint that exists within the organization, right? He just loaded the question there and put some forms, and people can, click on the form, answer question, and then you get your result at the end of that. Very simple stuff he did. That tells me this is a guy that is innovative, is thinking, and when you expose him, he will do more. So drop into other areas. Don't stick in your own area of the organization alone. Go and get involved in projects that they are doing in other departments, just so that you can learn. Use online simulators, pay small money to have access to some platform. Or the cloud is there as your friend. By all means, get certified, and remember, certification does not qualify you. Certification just endorses you that you know what you know, and it gets you noticed, right? So my closing thought: you can thrive. There's ample room for transition. Your background is not your limitation. Not everyone in digital is core tech. You can ease in through those less technical skills. You need to acquire knowledge. There's no shortcut. Qualification plus know-how is what will make you to thrive. Thank you for having me. I'll pause there. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toye. I think you've helped to sort of tie everything that the earlier speakers have said together with, the nitty-gritty of the what really, digital skills and digital job opportunities, or those areas of work where the work really is. And I think that's excellent. Thank you so much, sir. We have one more speaker, and it's 2 o'clock. We didn't do too well with time. Like I said, I think the mistake we made is that, and I think you warned me about that earlier on, isn't it? Is that we sort of have just put too many people in the room for today. But what I just want to say before, I would have asked you some everyone, your presentation is question on how to know which area. In fact, I think you can, go on 3 tracks as you go and see which one you work on the top of 1 or 2 on the. If you put together all that, as I said, it should be how to proceed in his job. And I like that helped us to dimension and the different opportunities, the different career paths really that we pursue and support service, support, and that really understands what our intention was when putting this program together, to actually help us see exactly how we need to progress, okay, as far as digital skills are concerned. And I also like the examples that you gave. You talked about an accountant, you talked about an English major, you talked about, different people that have been able to transition and that have been able to get jobs within this environment. And you also mentioned that getting a job here, whatever it is that you need to get a job here, is also what you need to get elsewhere. Okay, and like I said before, all we just need to do is focus, decide that we want to do this, and then go for it. And so what's going to happen is that tomorrow we're going to have, core digital practitioners come and tell us, in more detail. So they're going to go more granular than Toye has gone, to actually tell us what are those steps that we need to be able to acquire these skills and also to move forward. But 2 quick questions for you. So what it just means is that we're going to overshoot our time by about 20 minutes because we have one more speaker. But I think Tui should answer this question. And I think Yinka, Dr. Mohammed has sort of answered your question, asking that you send your CV to his email, and has put up his email there. I'll also share it with you in case you can't see it. I'll share with you later on. But quickly, for a beginner, so this question is for you. I hope you can hear me. Yeah?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So for a beginner in programming, which programming will you recommend? Yeah, so that's programming recommended for a beginner.
Okay, which programming tool, technology? See, I'll tell you. There are a couple of them today. In fact, some are easier to master as well. So when you think of technology or development to like Node.js, a lot of people in digital are using Node.js, and it's just because it's not intensive coding. But what is more pervasive, depending on where you are targeting. So if you are targeting these fintechs or digital solution providers, by all means, learn Node.js. Now, you won't get the solution that you go wrong with. Go with Microsoft .NET. All right, the .NET family, be it .NET Core or Star, right? You won't get it wrong, right? And the second one that is like it, that's also in demand, is Java. You won't get your Java skills wrong, right? Those are for core developers. In terms of front-end development, you can do your Angular, you can do your React Native. There are so many in that series. What I would say to you, like other speakers have also said, is Google is your friend, right? Just Google all those things I've mentioned in the area of development, right? But I will tell you, if you start with Microsoft, you won't get it wrong, not just because Microsoft is easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but because it's in demand worldwide. A lot of people are building solutions on Microsoft. And if you run into trouble, you will easily find communities where people will help you with your code as well. Also, if you are working on a project, whatever you are working on, more often than not, has been done by someone, and people have posted it in communities. So if your project has, let's say, 5 segments, 3 of the segments in your project, you can find what someone has done, has posted already. You copy that part and fit in and write the rest because you belong to the community. Same thing for Java, right? So I would recommend my .NET family. I will recommend Java, and I will recommend Node.js. And for front end, React, the React Native as well, and Angular. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very well appreciated. So thank you for your time. Thank you for the excellent presentation, and you're very much appreciated. So we'll quickly move on to, our last speaker and the second lady for today. Juliet has been on the call since we started, and even though we're about 30 minutes behind schedule, she's still on and ready to speak with us. Thank you so much for staying, Juliet. So Juliet is a resourceful HR generalist with over 14 years experience in the human resources function of moderate to advanced complexity in recruitment, industrial relations, compensation administration, compliance, local content, sustainability, and I&D. Her career experience spans across consulting, food and beverages, and the oil and gas industries. She holds a BSc in economics and an MSc program in human resources management at the Robert Gurdon University. Juliet holds other HR certifications and is a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Nigeria, Chartered Institute of Personnel Development UK, and Professional in Human Resources International, PHRI. So, Juliet Yang, you're welcome to Pivot 1.0. Please go ahead and share with us your insight into our discussion. Juliet is going to be speaking today on I had it up before. She's going to be speaking on mid-career transition. Yeah, she's going to be shedding some light on that and wrapping up today's discussion for us. So Juliet, you're welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you just confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
I'm not sure I am able to share my screen.
And sorry, let me just stop
Okay.
sharing. I've stopped sharing now, so you can share.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Right. I mean, it's been an amazing how many hours now, and I've learned a lot. I hope everyone else has as well. One of the interesting things about wrapping up is that most of the speakers would have touched on the things you have to say. So I will try as much as possible to be practical. Everything that's been said the couple of hours are all intertwined one way or the other. So I hope that we are all learning, picking up important aspects as it concerns us in our pivoting, in our transitioning. Please confirm again, you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So I'll be talking about mid-career transitioning in terms of pivoting from where you are today to where you want to be. As human beings in our personal life, in our relationship, business, we're constantly changing. And the definition, according to the dictionary, Webster Dictionary, is that pivoting is, a fixed point, where something turns or balances. So for some, it might be a balance of, fully understanding where you are today. For some, it might be a growth. For some, it might be something totally, different from where you are. But as human beings, we constantly transition, we constantly change, from one point to the other. Wake up every morning, we're unsure of, what the day holds. And we're constantly learning, like on this session now, this conference, the idea is for us to learn so that we can grow in whatever it is we, set our hearts on our minds to do. People are moving to unknown waters, unknown places. This morning, I've had one or two people change from in my organization. I've received emails once somebody relocating outside Nigeria because they got a job and their spouse got a job and they need to move. I have someone else that has just pivoted globally within my organization. So people are moving from one state to the other. The speakers have touched on different type of jobs, where the opportunities, what opportunities that we have, especially in the IT space. But for those that are not in the IT space, the opportunities are also enormous. I talked about the employee that is moving. My first thought was, okay, maybe your wife is a nurse or in the healthcare space, and he said no, she's a teacher. So it means that in the education space, there are opportunities everywhere. HR, finance, projects. The jobs are there. It's just most of the speakers I've talked about. I had notes that I wrote down, talked about different ways, different things. I picked research. I picked understanding where you want to be and where you are today and where you want to go to tomorrow. And then where are these opportunities? The speakers from the morning, we had speakers from Canada, we had it's just how you position yourself. I want to be how you position yourself, the skills that you can learn for the that you for either with your organization, moving to another where you're moving inside your current location. How do you intend to stretch? What do you intend to do? I talk about putting in the work. You know, it's not something that's something. The last thing we talked about, you need to learn some IT go into. So it's for non-IT, anything you're doing, like anything you pivot to understand where you're there and how to get there. I'm sorry if I'm a bit fast. I have to go off quickly because I have another meeting. So please pardon me. I'll try my as much as possible to just wrap up and pass information that will be relevant to you. Some speakers talked about the future of work. The future of work is here now. We were before 2020, there were conversations around gonna get to the future of work. About more work. Companies are were left out. Before 2020, started shaping working. It happened suddenly. Within place. So the same as people bring people to quickly navigate from type of to so there were things that shaped the first I all of us was 2019. And then people started getting very I remember I submitted the proposal for us to have flexible working, and some I call them baby boomers. We're like, no way, people will not work. They will be at the beach, they'll be in the market. They will not sit down and they will not work. And they shut it down because we had a few of them that had that mindset, and I didn't say anything. And then 2020 came. February, everybody started running around. And I went back to them to say, it's good that and this complaint was just from Nigeria, not our other location, just for Nigeria. Our Nigerian managers were thinking we're going to go play. But really, we're sitting down at home today and we're working. We're all on this call from different points. And we're having this conversation. As I'm talking to you, immediately I'm done, I have another, work type meeting. So we're working, and companies that weren't ready, had to be left out. Employees that were not ready. I remember when we had a bit of redundancy around, the 2020, because the COVID hit us really bad in terms of the type of work that we do. And then when we're looking at, okay, what are the skills that we have today? What are the people that we need so that we can continue, business continuity? There were individuals that we knew that they didn't have the skills that we needed in terms of digital skills, being able to combine different skills together and, deliver. So they had to be let out, we had to move on without them. And then we had we now have issues around environmental crisis. Different things happening that are shaping the world of work. And the trends that are coming out of this is hybrid work, flexi work, remote work, virtual teams. We're having conversation now. I have teams that are, not in Nigeria with me, sitting in Ghana. We have our weekly meetings, we have conversations, we have chats quickly, we solve issues. And that's how it's going to continue to be. Companies are thinking about employee well-being and safety, Mental health is an issue that we all need to grapple with. Diversity and inclusion, we need to understand how to include everybody. Multifunctional and cultural spaces, where work is being done, how work is being done. They all, I won't say they're all changing, they have changed. So as individuals, we need to look at these trends and understand how we can position ourselves, for what the future, holds for us. And then, like I thought about not putting too many too many information because we're lots of speakers, and I knew that they're going to touch on a lot of this. So my focus is to not, just give you some few tips on steps you can take to pivot. So first of all, is you need to set your goals. Set your goals, set small goals, set smart goals. From the start of my career, every year, every January, when you're thinking about losing weight and all of that, I have that as well. But I also always ensure I have one personal developmental goal that I will set for myself, and I will spend my money to ensure that I develop in that skill. So sit down, assess yourself, look at where you are today, look at where you want to be tomorrow. What is lacking? In that way, you are researching. The speakers talked about understanding your environment. That's researching. Find out the knowledge gap. Find out what gaps you have today. Read the job description of the desired job you want to take on, right? Toy talked about reading for a specific job in the tech industry. You want to be a programmer. Go and look out job descriptions for a programmer, for example. Understand what skills you have today, how that skill will play into a programmer role. Understand what is lacking. What am I lacking? What do I need to do to fill that gap? And then you're responsible for your career. Your company, your employer is not responsible for your career. Your manager will not take care of your career. You need to take charge of your career. It is personal to you. My career is personal to me. I am always curious about what's happening around my space and even outside my space. As HR professional, when I tell people the things I do, I'm a generalist. The things I do as a generalist, people are wondering, okay, how do you do all of this? What I've done is I've looked at the skills I have as HR professional, and I've seen how best my skill is relevant for example, local content. My skill in HR, how is it relevant to local content? My skill in HR, how is it relevant to immigration, meaning that I'm ensuring compliance? My skill in HR, how is it relevant to diversity and inclusion, sustainability? So sit down, think about your career from beginning till today, because we're talking about mid-level career. Think about what you have achieved. See how those skills that you have are adaptable to where you want to be, to the position that you're looking to, take on tomorrow. And then continue to read. Be ready to adapt to change. Changes have happened in my life that they were sudden, and I was able to adapt to it quickly. I give you an example. In 2020, after COVID, middle of the year, I got a conversation with my manager. My manager doesn't sit in Nigeria, and says, "Oh, we're thinking that you should look after Ghana." And Ghana for me is a new experience. Number one, it's a different culture, even though we're all Africans. There's this aggressiveness about us Nigerians compared to Ghanaians. And then the most difficult part for me was the fact that Ghana is unionized. I was scared, right? But I didn't say no. I quickly started reading relevant information about Ghana. I still do that today, about their laws, about their union, different things. I had to reach out to people to find out, okay, who's the HR person for XYZ company, and ask question. In that way, I am learning, I am growing, right? Because change happens every day. You can't, if you want to, pivot to your next level, you can't sit down and, always expect things to be handed down to you. Yes, I was told to say, go and look after Ghana. And I said, okay. It wasn't given to me at the time, but I started reading it and getting myself prepared. Be focused. Be focused. It's important. Be focused. What is that goal that you have set for yourself in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Be focused on that goal. I always say it when I'm faced with challenges and at work or whatever. I just say, be focused. Be focused, be dedicated. Apply what you've learned. One of the conversations I had this morning with a colleague of mine, he's actually in my team, he's in learning. I remember in 2019, he was really restless. He wanted something more. And I told him that within our job space, as HR people, I also look after learning. He's not an HR person. He has a technical background, but he looks after our technical learning. In the whole of Africa, there's nobody that has that skill set. And I told him, when we merged, our products were slightly different. So a lot of people that had that experience had to leave. So you're the only one that had that experience within Africa. Every year I'm talking to him about his career. And I told him one time that I see you as the technical training specialist for Africa, but you need to continue doing what you're doing. You need to be focused, you need to be dedicated. When I received the email this morning on the org chat, I called him and I told him that I told you to be focused at what you do and see the end results today. And the conversations continued. Do not be as afraid to seek for help. If there's something you don't know, seek for help. Find anyone that knows more than you do, and learn. Because you're reminding yourself of your career goal. Your career goal is to be at a certain level, and everything you need to get to that level, you need to seek it out. So do not be afraid to seek for help. The speakers talked about network and mentorship. Also, a personal experience. Because I work in the oil and gas servicing industry as HR person, we tend to have our heads buried in the sand. I use that word a lot because there's this somewhat idea that we are contented, let me use the word. And in 2014, I was a bit restless. I wanted more, and I had to seek out HR network. I wasn't very good at networking, but I had to look for a way to understand how to network. And I started from church. I started volunteering my skill set to a particular unit in church. And from there, I started networking. And I got my mentor today was actually from that experience of networking. And that mentor has helped network with other HR professionals outside the oil and gas industry. So if you want to network, understand how you need to network as it applies to what your goals are. The way I will network is different from the way a finance person will network. The way I'll network is different from the way a project manager will network. So understand where you want to be and try and network brilliantly. The brilliantly applies to what it is that you're looking for. Networking is about leaving a positive impression as much as possible. When you come in contact with people, leave a positive impression. Attend industry events if you can. There are different ones online. There are local events around you. Meet people as much as you can if you are that sort of person. I'm an introvert. People find it funny because I'm in HR, but I'm an introvert. If I can avoid meeting people, I will do that. When you get your mentor, don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Don't be afraid to bounce ideas about your space with your mentor. Don't be afraid to follow up. Don't be afraid to connect, with your mentor. And in that way, there are different other ways, but this for me is what has helped, shape my career from where I was to where I am today. And then quickly, the skills for today and for the future. The speakers have also talked about it, but I want to focus a bit on entrepreneurship, initiative taking, critical thinking, decision making, resilience, and creativity. So because most of us work remotely today, it's important. There are certain leadership skills you need to develop. As an entrepreneur, nobody wakes you up to say you must go out. It's the same thing when you're working remotely. You need to be disciplined, ensure that you're giving it your all. Because you're working from home does not mean that you should, just sit down and watch Netflix all day. You have deliver on what is expected. You have to be able to take initiatives. There are people today where they're always coming to managers, coming to the business with problems. What are the solutions in your space? Identify a problem, identify a solution, present it as much as you can. Be creative. There's with the way the FX situation is in Nigeria today, there was an initiative from 2021 that I presented, honestly, if it's not the only thing that's going to, give me a promotion or a raise in the next couple of years, I'm fine. Because it was a difficult initiative, but we were creative about it, looking at where are we going with our FX situation. And today, when people are screaming of the FX situation, dollar to naira, people in my organization are not, looking at that at all. We're thinking of different things. So look within your space, within your career today, within your job. What are the initiatives you can come up with and that you can see through? Be resilient. It's important. Have staying power. Because of where you want to get to as quickly as possible, you might be a little bit in a hurry, but have staying power. The challenges that if I start to talk about today, I will not probably finish on time, but resilience, critical thinking, step back, I take a deep breath, helps, put things in perspective because you are focused on a goal. Remember, you need to have a goal. You need to be focused on that goal. There are different challenges that will come your way with wanting to derail you from the goal you have set for yourself. My goal is different from your goal. Your goal could be to relocate to, work in the tech industry, tech space in another country. My goal could be, okay, I want to attain this level of leadership in the next 3 or 4 years. Our goals are different, but the important thing is be focused. Ensure that you are looking at ways to get to your goal. And we're talking about skills, upskilling, the skills that are needed. What are the benefits of me getting these skills, getting, skills in audits, negotiation strategy, IT, whichever the skills I want to put together to get for myself. What are the benefits of getting my skills? First of all, to secure the desired job. If I get the job I desire, right, it gives me satisfaction and fulfillment. I have achieved my goal. I'm aware of what's happening in my industry. Personal development. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm learning every day, not just because I want to, get that secure, that desired job, but because I want to make myself attractive for various reasons. It helps me. It shows that I have initiative when I'm learning new skills to make myself attractive. My employer, for example, my potential employer will see that, oh, over time I've gained XYZ, number of skills in this area that I'm applying for. It gives them that trust that I'm an initiative taking sort of employee. It gives me an edge on promotion opportunities, either in my current company or even outside my company. I'm filling a gap, right? Upskilling myself today gives opportunity for me to diversify my role, for me to gather more responsibilities, for me to not only fill a gap, but redesign my approach to working every day. There are skills I have learned, over time that helps me define how I work today, how I relate with people, how I delegate, for example. It helps me pivot my career. And that's why we're here today, helping me with more opportunities that are out there, either within or outside Nigeria. I'm in touch with new subject area. I'm not just in touch with recruitment selection, for example. I'm speaking about myself. I'm in touch with local content. I'm in touch with project management because we do projects in where I work. It helps me when they're talking about looking for people for opportunities tomorrow. They would remember Juliet, or because Juliet had been able to, give insight into a particular subject when we had a meeting. When I met or interviewed Juliet, her perspective around this subject makes me, want to hire her for this particular role because she's not only just going to be an HR professional, she'll be able to touch on XYZ subject. So it's important that we develop, we upskill ourselves. There are enormous benefits to it. And finally, we all need to earn an income, right? One of the reasons why we want to, get new skills, pivot our career, so that we can make more money, so that we can earn more money, and we will not, try and deceive ourselves. Money is the the most important. So adding new skills helps you add value. So you have a value that you want to sell. You are able to leverage on that value that you've developed from the skills that you've gotten, to ask for a raise, for example, in your organization, to go for an interview, speak to a recruiter somewhere in UAE, and they're offering you, let's say, $10,000 per month, and you say, no, I have XYZ skill. I'm asking for $15,000 because I know that in this space that I'm, being interviewed for, this is the going rate, and this is the value I will bring to your organization if you hire me. One of the things that when we're talking about experience, people are wondering when HR people ask, they want cognate experience. So what is cognate experience? Simply means what are the relevant experience that you have that is highly relevant to the job that you're applying for. Is that simple? So I'm applying for, I'm sorry, I want to use HR now. I'm applying for HR business partner, and they're asking that I have an understanding of compensation and benefits. If I have done something in comp and ben, I should highlight that in that particular job or interview I'm going to attend. Highlight your experience for the role you're applying for. It's just simple. Sell that experience. You are selling yourself as an ideal candidate. And every employer is a buyer, right? Every candidate is also a buyer. It's give and take. As an employer, I am looking for this particular skill in the market. You as the candidate, you are selling that skill to me. And when we're doing this, let's understand that it's a competition, especially in Nigeria, where you see job adverts you're applying for. There are hundreds of potential candidates are also applying for that same position that you're vying for. It's a competition. Even in your organization currently, if there are positions that you're looking to move into, you're not the only one. It's a competition. So you should position yourself with the value that you're bringing and highlight it as much as possible. Talk about your achievements as it's relevant to what the buyer, in this instance, your employer, your manager, is looking for, or your potential employer is looking for. And to wrap it up, I know we've been talking about pivoting all morning, and we also know we've probably heard of Toby Amson's victory. Most of the time, as individuals, we're stuck on, oh, she's made it. Oh, she's now people and culture manager for Nigeria and Ghana. Oh, she's chief people officer or head of IT for this company. And we're looking at the individual. We're not realizing, or we haven't really thought about the hard work, the years of pain that individual has put in it to get to where they are. And that's where I'm highlighting Toby's glory, because in 2016, she was 11th. In 2017, she was 14. If it's me or somebody else, I'm not trying to be modest. I probably would have given up to say, no, I'm not going to try this anymore. But it goes back to her being focused. She had a goal. She probably had researched. So going back to the steps, she was focused. She was determined. She was fourth in 2019, fourth again in 2020. She would have thought to herself that, oh no, I'm tired. Where will I get there? And then today she's a world record holder. So my message to you all today in this whole pivoting conversations that we're having is that there's hard work. You want to get into a new job, a new space, a new country, there is hard work. You need to go and research it. You need to work it out every day. You need to go back and assess where you are, where you want to go to. You are reassessing it. You've set the SMART goal, right? You need to be determined, because there are times that will challenge you. There are times that you will second guess yourself. Is it going to work out at all? But if you continue at it and you are determined, I must tell you from experience, from my experience, from experience of people that I have come across as HR professional within my organization and outside my organization, that it will pay off in the end, and it will pay off big time. So I'm going to wrap it up and just, wish everybody that's listening to all the speakers this morning, the very best as you continue to strive to that goal that you have set for yourself, as you take your career, as you take your future in your own hands, as you continue to, put in the work, because that's just it, put in the work to achieve whatever pivoting or transitioning plan that you have for yourself. I think I'll wrap up here and say thank you again. Thank you, Oak Interlink, for the opportunity. Thank you, Shay. I'm sorry I have to rush off because I have another call.
Okay.
I have a
Good.
question for Toyi. Probably I'll ask you later. What is a Scrum Master?
Oh, okay. I can answer that.
Okay, that'll be good.
Okay. So essentially, there are a number of project management methodologies. So Scrum is a project management methodology. So the facilitator in that Scrum environment, if your organization is adopting or practicing that way or that approach to managing projects, which is an agile methodology, which is Scrum is one of the agile methodologies. So a Scrum Master is the facilitator in that process. He's sort of synonymous to a project manager, but a number of differences between a Scrum Master and a project manager. Okay, so yeah, so a Scrum Master is like a project manager in a Scrum environment, but there are a number of key differences between the approach of the project manager and the Scrum Master, but it's similar. Let's just put it that way. The guy that facilitates the project in the Scrum environment, that's the Scrum Master.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk some more on that. Okay, I was going to ask you a question, but you need to rush off. I know we're several minutes past time. Do you want to answer the question or you want to go?
Okay, let's see. Just one.
Okay. Everyone has talked about branding yourself. We've also talked about that. You may not have used that word exactly, but you did, talk about, how to package yourself essentially. So how do you brand yourself? Just quickly, how do you brand yourself?
Okay, so branding yourself goes back to, first of all, understanding where you are today and where you want to get to. So use myself for example. I started my HR career in 2019 or 2016. 2016, I didn't really get into HR, but 2019 I got into HR and consulting, and I did a bit of research to say, okay, this is HR. What is this about? I read economics, and I got interested. I found out what certifications I needed at the time, because for me it was every year to understand what I need to get to where I want to be. And then I started putting myself, going through all of these certifications and looking at, what I need to get to where I want. So first of all, what's your focus? What's your goal? Set that goal. Where do you want to get to? What do you need? So the branding is, what do I need to get to where I want to? So I want to go for, let's say, a party now. Let's say a party with the president. Okay. How do I want to appear? So I go to the markets. Do I want to dress wearing a jeans? Is it a cocktail party? Is it a casual party? What do I need to put on so that when I appear, they will see me and perceive my brand? So as HR person, what do I need so that when I appear and talk about being in HR, someone will take me seriously? If I want to apply for a job, what do I need? You need to understand what skills that are lacking, that you need to, bridge that gap. I had an audit in 2019, an ISO audit. I walked into the room, everybody was seated, senior management was seated, and I walked into the room. That was the first time I was made HR manager for Nigeria. And the auditor asked, oh, you're HR. Are you, for example, are you in CIPM? And I said, yes. What he meant was that if I had said no, my brand, right, him looking at me as HR would have dropped. And honestly, my audit was just 5 minutes. Everybody was struggling with their audit, but my audit was just 5 minutes because as an HR professional, he saw credibility in me, because in Nigeria, if you are part of CIPM, You know, you gain credibility. Internationally, let's say if I'm in the UK, if a part of CIPD, you gain credibility. So in your industry or in your job, what are the skills that you are lacking? What are the certifications that you need? What are the qualifications that you need to brand yourself? In 2019, I had to do a master's degree. I wasn't HR manager at the time. I just started my master's degree, and the opportunity opened up. I'd gone through all sorts of models, leadership. The opportunity opened up. I wasn't the only one they were considering, but one or two people had seen the value, maybe from the conversations I've had or from the classes I've been to. I was able to talk maybe leadership. I don't know, you know. But there was a brand that having that extra certification gave me in line with the experience I already bring to the table. So for me, branding is about understanding what you are lacking and just putting yourself together with baby steps to get to, you know, where you want to be.
Thank you. Thank you.